to win in anything in life, you're going to have to take chances. You're going to have to push the limits. You're going to have to get ballsy. On tonight's show, Bindles and I are joined by an extra special guest. Danny from the Fantasy Stock Exchange is here to get ballsy. Let's hit the intro.
Because I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. Because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. Anywhere I want.
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on?
How we doing tonight? We feeling ballsy?
Oh, absolutely. Let's
After
get
that-
it, brother.
After that intro and
I think I'll be fired up, baby. Let's get it.
Talk, yeah, feeling good. We got we got Hamilton's finest right here with us, so we had to get the beautiful Canadian flag here in the background.
Red shirt for Canada, baby. Let's get it.
I was gonna say, I think I have one red shirt and I couldn't find it, so that's okay. We're good. But yeah, man, how are you doing? You have been doing some drafts. You said you were driving across the border to get some slows in. How many drafts have you done so far this off season?
So I haven't. I've only finished about. I mean, are we counting the bigger board, the big board? If I count those as well, let me just actually take a look and count so I can give you a concrete answer. 4 drafts, 3 pugs, and 1 greyhound that have finished post the NFL draft. And I did 10 total big boards, 5 bigger boards, 3 biggest boards, and 2 big boards. And like I mentioned, I'm in 50 current slow BBMs. So
Hell yeah.
Nice.
It's quite
That's
hectic,
a mix,
Father's
a little
Day.
bit of the higher stakes, some in the mid, and then getting in where you can.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. By the way, in addition to the BBMs, I am also in 2 big dog slows.
Oh, incredible! Those are hard to fill too.
Oh yeah, no, and it was funny too because I messaged Mason. I'm like, hey, you want to get on these big dog slows? And he's like, buddy, you can join the next 10 big dog slows, and you'll find me in those lobbies. He just pre-jacked all of them,
ripping them.
just absolutely pre-jacked all the big dogs.
Incredible. Well, we've got underdog drafts ripping. We're 2 weeks in to June, and tournaments are opening and closing in, it seems like 24 hours. The drafters are out in full force, and we're not even at the peak of best ball summer, but we're getting started. It's feeling good. And Danny, through your draft so far, who's your most exposed player that you've been drafting? Who are you feeling good about?
So it's hard to say the actual most exposed because I don't have access to it yet because I'm currently in all the slows. But the easiest click by far, and I know Bindles knows where I'm going here. I mean, I'm getting Travis Hunter in the 4th round. I understand, okay, week-to-week volatility. Sure, I'm willing to accept that. I'm exposed to a Liam Cohen offense. I'm exposed to a wide receiver that can take any touch of the house. So for me, when I'm looking at Jameson Williams also going in the 4th round, I can take a comparative receiver that I thought had Hall of Fame level talent. I thought compared to Odell Beckham Jr. I understand that there will be weeks that maybe he plays 65% of the snaps and we're like, shit, we wish he was on the field more. But there'll also be weeks where he's at 85, 90+% of the routes and you're getting Jaden Reed plus attached to a good offense.
I like that take. You said something there. You said Odell Beckham Jr. That's exactly who I think of when I see those spectacular catches, whether it was in the end zone or the sideline that Hunter had throughout his college career. The special hands, those are Odell, here. So I love that. And then you said something too about the Liam Cohen offense. You're pretty pumped on that and the direction the Jags are going. Do you think, and is this part of your bet on Hunter? Does it go hand in hand with a Trevor Lawrence step forward?
I have Trevor Lawrence aggressively ranked. He's a guy that I raised to being a top 12 dynasty quarterback on the news. I mean, you're betting on the talent profile, obviously, first overall pick for a reason, a guy that was compared to Andrew Luck. Now, I don't think the prospect talk maybe holds much weight. Obviously, we're years removed from him being a prospect. Just kind of goes to show you that when he's not dealing with collarbone issues or bad offensive line play, or he's getting beaten and pummeled behind the line of scrimmage on a down-to-down basis, I think if he holds a clean pocket, has two absolute aliens on the outside, I mean, I think we're having the best Trevor Lawrence season of his career.
No doubt. He's set up for success. Bindles, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, dude, I'm completely with you. I'm all in on the Jags this year. BTJ, Hunter, T-Law, Bayshall Tootin. Like I can't draft unless I'm on stream with someone, but if I was able to draft, I think I'd be at like at least 25-30%. I'm all in. So I feel like every draft I do, I end up pushing for him at least, if not taking him. So I'm all in. Liam Cohen, we saw how good that offense was, even when Mike Evans went down, when Godwin went down. Jalen McMillan just getting scheme touches, taking him to the house. So I'm really excited, and that will parlay into one of my ballsy takes, our new segment that is coming up here.
I'm excited to see that. The other thing I will say, I'm glad you mentioned screen, because you pointed that out real quick. Just the screen game that we could imagine with the Jaguars, with a guy like Travis Hunter. Again, this guy moves differently than any wide receiver prospect I've personally evaluated. I had him and Marvin Harrison with a relatively similar grade, but obviously both win in different ways. I think if Marvin Harrison's going to win in the NFL, he's probably going to have to take that CeeDee Lamb development path. Travis Hunter, just from a movement skill set perspective, I mean, you're talking Malik Nabers, you're talking, like I said, Odell Beckham Jr. before. I mean, it's just rare to see someone that twitchy, that able-bodied.
He just truly moves different. And yeah, I mean, BTJ too, right? Like, he can win downfield. We know he's a downfield alpha, but he also really great in the yak game. So yeah, I'm real excited for that offense. I'm buying all the pieces there, and I think a lot of my best ball season will kind of ride or die on that team. So.
Oh yeah, trust me. I mean, I'm tied to the hip with the Jaguars being good this year. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I'm definitely all aboard. I'm just a quick look at my best ball exposures. I've got, 16% Brian Thomas. I've only got 9% Travis Hunter, and I think this is filtered to just my BBMs. But I'm drafting him when I can, and then Tootin's at 14%, T-Law at 16%. Even Strange at 9%, who I don't fully believe in, but it's just part of that team bet. Give me a Jag on almost every team. Another team that I've been drafting a ton of, and this is kind of a best ball thing, but it's because I really like their Week 17 matchup, and I play both sides of it. It's the Rams, the Falcons. Week 17, we get Devontae Adams shipped to LA, and then we have the emergence of the great Michael Penix Jr. And is he the next elite pocket passer in the NFL? Open it up to Danny to give us a start. In that matchup, are there any players you're targeting? Are those two teams you're targeting? How do you feel about that one?
So I actually usually play it through Stafford and the Ram side. Reason being, I think this is going to be the highest pass rate, the highest pass volume, potentially even in the red zone that we've seen from the Rams quite a while. I think it's pretty apparent based off McVay's comments. He wanted more dynamism in his offense. He already talked about last year, for example, they didn't have a Bucky Irving style running back. They go and get Jarquez Hunter. I think you're going to see a lot more speed prioritized on the perimeter with the run game. I think we potentially see some more wide zone concepts introduced now. Obviously, they kind of shifted more to a man gap type of scheme to fit Kyron, but now they have a guy like Jarquez Hunter. You can really bury that run attack. And for me, when I look at Devontae Adams, his skill set in comparison to really how he complements Puka Nacua, I think it's a much better complement than Cooper Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp as a player, you look at reception perception, for example, third percentile against man coverage, third percentile against press, I believe it was. I think, I mean, for example, he was never a man-beating receiver per se, but even his zone coverage grade dropped into 30 percentile. I just think that's indicative of maybe the injuries have caught up to him. Maybe he's not quite the same player he was. You look at, for example, Davante Adams playing a harder position as that X-boundary receiver, graded out tremendously better. So for me, I think having a true X wide receiver like Davante Adams, now you open up Puka Nacua to potentially take even more slot snaps. You didn't really quite see him be a full-time slot snap player with Cooper Kupp. Because you have Davante Adams there, now you can ship them off the line of scrimmage. Now you can say, hey, we can run more 12 personnel. We drafted Terrence Ferguson. There's a lot more variety to that Rams pass attack. And for me, I'm drafting as many pieces as I can. I mean, Terrence Ferguson, you're getting an athletic tight end drafted by Sean McVay on day 2, basically at the end of your drafts. Davante Adams, he was the wide receiver 9 in points per game last year, sharing the field with Garrett Wilson. Like, I understand that people will say, well, Garrett Wilson's not Puka Nacua. Garrett Wilson had 154 targets last year. So the way I'm looking at it, even if Davante Adams maybe doesn't have a top 5 ceiling, you're getting a steady top 12 level projection, and you're drafting that at the wide receiver 19. And what can we say about Puka Nacua? You look at reception perception, for example, grades out, I believe, 85th plus percentile in every aspect as a separator. Matt says, for example, he's graduated to that elite tier wide receiver 1 status. The fact that he's taken that step as a talent, and you're still insulated with that McVay scheme to be that, a Monor St. Brown, Drake London style wide receiver. Obviously, Puka Nacua is his own wide receiver, but you see that archetype of wide, I mean, even Chris Godwin in Tampa Bay, that power slot wide receiver that can give you that tough yak over the middle of the field.
I mean, the Rams are a really fun way to play it, and it's almost like get Stafford going out in a blaze of glory. He's got Davante Adams. Who knows, like, what their connection could be? Stafford has unlocked some insane ceiling seasons from wide receivers throughout his career, right? The whole way along, just for decades, practically. You mentioned Jarquez Hunter, another player I really like. I've been sneaking him in all my rookie drafts, getting him late, and a lot of these best ball drafts, I'll tack him on there. I think he has some standalone value with what we're hearing and the way they want to use him. He's not a 1-for-1 backup with Kyron Williams. He is a complementary piece. Maybe the thunder and the lightning comes together. But also, like you mentioned, passing the ball in the red zone. Maybe we see Stafford kind of come back into a new ceiling outcome range that he hasn't really been able to do so much in the last couple of years.
I mean, 2021, you saw the 41 touchdown outburst. You haven't quite seen that in the last couple of years, just because, to put it simply, obviously Cooper Kupp battling his injuries. You finally get Puka Nacua, but even that year, Cooper Kupp gets hurt, Puka Nacua gets hurt. Realistically, they haven't had that healthy wide receiver core since 2021. Now you insert Davante Adams. If him and Nacua stay healthy, I see no reason why you don't trust a top 8 level quarterback in this league, right?
I'm with
no
you 100%,
doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, going back to the Kyron Hunter point, I agree. I think he does have standalone value. Obviously, Kyron's going to get a lot of the dirty touches. You're assuming he's probably going to get a lot of those inside the 5 carries, third down and short carries. I mean, he's got the coach's trust. He's just, the dirty work running back. When you watch Kyron play, it's like you're not expecting him to rip a 37-yard run. You're expecting him, okay, 3rd and 3. Can he punch it across the line and get 4 yards? That's what Kyron is at this point. To me, when I look at exactly. And again, I don't mind the play of Kyron in best ball per se, because I think 3-4 turn, I think, you're getting touchdown equity on what I think is going to be a good offense. I'm perfectly fine with it. But even if Jarquez Hunter has maybe even a Jalen Warren type of role at his current opportunity cost, like, how are you not taking that round 16?
I'm in. Don't have to tell me twice.
Let's get it.
What about the flip side? Tell me any thoughts. Do you have any strong takes around the Falcons? I'll just say, when I look around the league, the NCAA, anyone that was a part of Michael Penix Jr.'s incredible run at Washington, whether it was Ryan Grubb, whether it was Kalen DeBoer, whether it was the trio of wide receivers that all entered the NFL, no one's been as successful as they once were with Michael Penix now that they're without him. So I just kind of setting the stage. I don't know if he's the rising tide that lifts all of the boats, or do we see Jalen Polk resurge? Do we see McMillan, more than just a role player who took advantage of some opportunity, can Roma Dunze take a step forward and be that
I
true
got some
alpha?
bear stakes. I got some bear stakes. I believe in Rome, but all jokes aside, I wasn't admittedly the highest on him as a prospect. However, I think he showed the signs as a rookie. I think realistically for me, even if he becomes a Geno Smith level projection, you're getting that in an offense that has supporting pieces. Bijan Robinson is my RB1 this year. I'll just say that right off the bat. I mean, it'll bloat into one of my takes. We're talking ballsy takes. I got one that is super spicy given the context of the current market cost, but Bijan Robinson is my RB1. Drake London I have as a top 10 level wide receiver, a guy I'd feel comfortable taking in that top 15, top 16 area. The guy that I'm maybe not taking much at his opportunity cost has been Darnell Mooney, simply because that archetype of hit in best ball, I would rather hit on the next Darnell Mooney, the next Jacoby Myers, than pay the heightened opportunity cost the year after. So to me, if we're looking at that range, if I go to best ball ADP rankings, NFL, like if we're looking at the 12th, 13th round range at receiver, I understand it does kind of get bleak, but I mean, even like QJ, Hollywood Brown type, Cedric Tillman, I think is an interesting dart throw. Pat Bryant's an interesting bringback option, obviously for the Chiefs versus Denver week 17. I haven't minded mixing in, Alec Pierce types. Obviously, that's the complete opposite of like the volume soaker archetype that a Jacoby Myers is, but kind of more so fits that field stretch Darnell Mooney type of role. And another guy, I mean, Keenan Allen, if you're looking at who can be like this year's Jacoby Myers, it's like, if he lands in a situation late in summer and he has an opportunity to soak some targets, I don't think he's a great player at this point, but at the very minimum, you're looking at 189 ADP board texture right now. The minute he signs, he's going to be 163rd overall, 155th overall, potentially even end inside the top 50, 150.
No doubt. I don't think a day goes by where we don't talk about Keenan Allen on stream. It's constant. People want to know, is 40% exposure too high? Are people, fading him? He didn't really have the same fall off that we saw with guys who got injured, like Amari Cooper, and kind of are in that older tier of veteran wide receivers, maybe changing teams. I think what it comes down to for me is, and I've asked a ton of guests this, and I'll go ahead and ask you, and if you've put any thought into it, what are your either favorite, or what do you think the best case scenario landing spot for Keenan Allen would be? Like which team or two?
I think it's an interesting question. Basically, you're looking for, you're looking for a team that just needs an intermediate target. What I'm thinking just off the board right now, I mean, weirdly enough, Arizona makes sense. Like I'm looking at it right now. Trey McBride obviously can play the underneath role because he's very good in the act game, but he's also an athletic freak that can absolutely bust down that seam. And when you're a guy like Keenan Allen, you need a Marvin Harrison Jr. on the outside at this point in your career. You need a guy like Trey McBride who has 4 or 5 level speed at 250 pounds. Like you need just absolute aliens on the field, because if they're going to take the pressure off of you and give you 5 yards to work with on a 3rd and 5, you're going to take it if you're Keenan Allen. And I'm not saying there's going to be a week where Keenan Allen goes, 3 catches, 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's not what I'm saying here, but is there a week where he potentially lands in a volume soak situation? He commands 12 targets, gives you a 7 for 72 and 2 touchdown line, because we literally saw it last year.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely. I've heard the Cardinals, I've heard the Titans, the Jets, the Steelers. I don't know. Maybe the real question I need to start asking is, what are like the worst landing spots? But Keenan Allen, the only thing that's holding me back is the retirement risk, that he just says, you know what, I've been there, I've done this, I don't need anything else to do. Yes, I could still play, but I'm going to hang up the cleats. And then you just end up with, 40% Keenan Allen dead roster spot. So that's the only reservation I have. But you're right. As soon as he lands somewhere, he's going to fly up the board, and I'm ready to chase him up the board. I'll keep drafting him.
I think it could be also like a kind of like what it was like Kareem Hunt last year, where kind of like there's injuries to a wide receiver room in camp or whatnot, and then he signs on a team where we're not even thinking of it right now, a complete wild card. So I think there's multiple outs, and there's a retirement risk, but at that ADP, a lot of those guys, right, you're hoping for 1 or 2 spike weeks anyways. So I don't mind the costs at all.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that. What if for example, again, knock on wood, I'm not wishing injuries. I'm just pointing out a hypothetical. You have more speed added to the Vikings. Obviously, if Jefferson missed any time, the offense would crater. But I am curious. You have Addison on the outside there. Maybe Ty Felton can take the top off the defense. Why wouldn't you sign a guy like Keenan Allen that can maybe move the chains at that point? Again, I'm not saying that the offense will be nearly comparable with arguably the best receiver. I mean, by the time he retires, he may very well be on that trajectory. The guy's averaging 9 yards per game more than any receiver in league history at this point with Justin Jefferson. But at the same time, it's like when you're looking at the supporting system of the Vikings, potential quarterback play, I'm sure we'll get into in a second with JJ McCarthy, on top of just the overall insulation of the offensive situation. I mean, you're looking at a spot like that saying, where would his ADP if he signed with the Vikings in a Justin Jefferson injury situation? Where would that be in terms of overall market ADP? Where would he be drafted?
Probably like the third round or fourth round, or
right?
something.
Like he could push
last year
more dramatically.
Fourth round type of value.
Yeah, just shows you. So I mean, he's another example in terms of like that Jacoby Myers archetype. It's like it doesn't have to be sexy. I mean, Jacoby Myers is what, a 4.7 receiver. I'm not positive Keenan Allen can crack a 4.85 at this point. You know what he could do though? He can just sit in a soft spot in zone and get 2 yards after the catch, and that's all I need from you.
Definitely.
That's 7 times a game.
Yeah. I think he will be as soon as he lands somewhere. I'm back in, but I'm waiting for that. Bindles, you brought up a player, Kareem Hunt, and one of the things looking back on the best ball season for 2024, as I was reflecting on it, Kareem Hunt was a incredible pick just because of the leverage you would have against the field. He was going undrafted for the majority of the summer. And then people were still out on him. They weren't drafting him enough. And so you get a player that was, I forget what it ended up being, but let's just imagine he was only, some percent drafted. He was not 100% drafted. He was a low double-digit percent drafted. Maybe it was 15%. Maybe it was less than that. I just came to me because you said that, Bindles. Danny and Bindles, question for you both. Are there any players right now that are going undrafted? And Keenan Allen doesn't really fit the bill because we are drafting him even without a new team. But a player who either lands on a new team or there's an injury this summer and they get elevated to a role that's not going drafted, that could, be a great leverage piece against the field.
I mean, the one that sticks out to me, I don't know if it goes by the undrafted. I don't know if this goes by undrafted because he is getting drafted. It's a 213.1 ADP. To me, when you say leverage against the field, the current tight end 9 off the board is Travis Kelce. There's the very real possibility Travis Kelce at his advanced age, his body just breaks down. And Noah Gray showed me enough to the point where why is there as big of an ADP gap right now between him and Isaiah Likely as there is? You look at their years, pull up Noah Gray versus Isaiah Likely, and let's read out the stats real quick because I don't think many people are contextualizing just how close it was.
So I've got Noah Gray here, and this is just pulling up right on Underdog. 49 targets, 40 receptions, 437 yards, 5 touchdowns, throw in a rushing attempt. So it's really 40.
Versatile player.
Yeah, 40 for 437 and 5. That sounds like about every tight end that goes after around 15, 16 kind of range. Likely, who goes right now ADP 144, had 42 receptions on 58 targets, so not even really efficient on him. 477 and 6. And we know he couldn't keep his toes in, so it might have been 7 if it was a different universe. But that's not far off. I have noticed people occasionally drafting Noah Gray. He was definitely getting drafted on the big board. I think you remember that. And it never clicked for me. I know earlier on when Travis Kelce's ADP was around 120 or later on the big board, people were kind of hedging. Maybe he doesn't come back, retires. And that's when we were seeing Noah Gray get drafted. But just seeing that alone, that's kind of eye-opening right there.
And obviously the implied upside, Kelce misses any time. Oh, look, you have a potential top 3 target opportunity in a Mahomes-led offense. So the path to payoff is there, and you need one thing to break right. And the thing you need to break right is what, a 35, 36-year-old tight end? I don't even know how old Kelce is.
I think he's 35 still. I think he'll turn 36 this season. Yeah. Quite advanced. Let's just say that. If I'm betting on his body
betraying him at some point in a 17 game sample. You give me one usable Noah Gray week, he's going to be a top 5 to 8 tight end that week.
Yeah, that's a good call. The two that stand out to me are kind of the Miami backfield and the San Francisco backfield. I think we've seen those systems. Anybody with a pulse in the Patrick Taylor was getting run last year and put up like a usable week. So yeah, Ollie Gordon, even Alexander Madison. I mean, I'm not going to be really necessarily drafting these guys, but we're talking about undrafted guys. And then Jordan James, I think is a very fun click there that goes undrafted or late in the 18th
one that I once took over Travis Hunter in a Devy draft.
Wow. Yeah.
Really? Not great.
Dude, Jordan James was good, man. Like he was crazy. He was getting touches with Bucky Irving when Bucky Irving was at Oregon too. So
he was supposed to break out. And I mean, Travis Hunter was supposed to play defense. And then a year later, I traded my 2nd round dynasty pick just to get Travis Hunter back, the guy that I took Jordan James over.
Yeah, no, but that would be I think those just offenses we've seen time and time again. Any injuries, those guys could definitely be a league winner in the playoffs if they are getting any opportunity. So,
I've got a player. I have been drafting him. I've seen him drafted occasionally. I don't think I'm, some kind of like oracle with this one, but before I get into the player, I'm just going to read you a stat line and let me know like the first player that comes to your mind, a running back kind of in this range of what they did in 2024, their level of production, kind of like you're getting, Danny, with the likely stats. I'm just going to read out some stats, like kind of a range of stats, and let me know who you think of, which running back from 2024 you think of for this. 100 to 110 rushing attempts, about 500 yards, 3 to 5 touchdowns, and then throw in a dozen receptions. Who do you think of when you think of that kind of stat line?
Sean Tucker didn't get there, did he?
Did Sean Tucker? That's not the one, but did Sean Tucker get there?
That's actually not a bad call either.
That's pretty close. He had a lot more. He did actually have a ton of receiving yards on 9 receptions, 50 attempts, and 308 yards, 3 total touchdowns. He's pretty close. He didn't quite get there, but he's pretty close. That's a good guess. Bindles, you got one?
It's Emmanuel Wilson. I already know.
It is Emmanuel Wilson.
Jeez. Okay. I see.
Emmanuel Wilson has been a guy that I think I'm just trying to get a little bit of leverage against the Marshawn Lloyd shares. And I like Marshawn Lloyd. I had 20% last year. Ask me how that went. I've got 14% of them this year. Ask me how that's going. So
how much hamstring does he have left?
I'm sprinkling in some Emmanuel Wilson, a guy that was more productive than Trey Benson, Blake Corum. Name a rookie running back from last year that's not Bucky Irving, and this guy was probably more productive on one of the best rushing offenses, the Packers. Great offensive line for the run blocking. We're a Josh Jacobs injury away from Emmanuel Wilson being the guy you need. Maybe, who knows? But I sprinkle him in here and there. I think it's a fun pick.
Yeah, no, I vibe with that. Trying to think. So tight end, you said Miami backfield. So we got running backs and tight ends. I mean, we may as well extend it to a wide receiver, right? What wide receivers are you guys drafting in that range? Like absolute dart throws that, I mean, maybe don't make sense, but
Deontay Johnson.
That's the OG. That is
Deontay
the OG.
Johnson, and I mean Wicks gets drafted, right?
Wicks does get drafted, but he goes so late. It's a good one.
I think Deontay. I mean, I'm an OG Deontay stan, so this is definitely biased.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, they have 5 quarterbacks in that room that could at least give you better production than what they were getting for some part of last year. And yeah, if Deontay is playing and he's not throwing a hissy fit, I think he can still earn targets. Like, I don't think his play fell off. It was just his brain that fell off. So I can definitely see Deontay giving you a couple spike weeks. And same with Wicks, good offense. I think they're going to be a little bit more pass heavy. I was arguing some Jaden Reed versus Josh Downs, which I love both, but I was arguing with Emo Cowboy on Twitter, and they were 32nd in I forget what the actual stat was, but like they were, after Jordan Love got injured, they were just so run heavy, and they are going to be a at least league average running team, but I think they're going to regress back towards that kind of middle of the league versus being dead last in whatever metric that I can't remember right now it was. But yeah, so I think Wicks, I mean, yeah, he's talented. He just can't catch. So maybe this year he puts it together.
I love wide receivers that can't
Yeah.
catch. If you're going to take a receiver in the 18th round, make sure they can't catch. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I traded this offseason for a cornerback who could catch, apparently, with Travis Hunter. All jokes aside.
There you go.
I think it's valid for sure. It's actually part of the reason why I've been drafting a ton of Tucker Kraft. I know this doesn't fit the criteria of the 200s plus pick, but when you math it, it's like, okay, tight end 15 points per game. It's like he didn't really command a lot of targets, but really it just simplifies down to, I think he is a freak athlete. I think he showed in terms of yards after catch per reception, 3.1 yards after catch per reception. For reference, the next closest was George Kittle at the tight end position at 2.1. Shout out Hayden Winks for that stat. And on top of that, I mean, if Jordan Love's healthy, like you kind of referenced, I think they are going to inherently throw the football more. And Tucker Kraft, to me, in terms of the athletic profile, in terms of the efficiency on his targets, touchdown equity, like why can't he be this year's Mark Andrews, realistically, if Jordan Love gets back to 2023 level?
I like it.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys yesterday while I was running some errands, and yeah, I mean, I think it's funny because you say he's the next Mark Andrews. I think Mark Andrews is severely underpriced as well right now.
Oh yeah,
like coming off a car accident, the same injury that Pollard had.
Yeah,
and he was solid from like week 5 through 17. I think he was like the tight end 6. And obviously it's very touchdown driven, but I mean, you're betting on Lamar, you're betting on the Ravens offense, like. Even if if he's healthy, and I don't think he's still 29. Like it's not like he's Kelsey age. I think he is a crazy value at where he goes, and I definitely be leaning him over Kelsey, which I believe Kelsey's ADP is above Andrews right now, which I don't understand. So
yeah, for me, it's like when I look at that range, like I'm just waiting for David Njoku and Tyler Warren and sleeping like a baby every time.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say, I think. Me and you, Danny, are two of the biggest Njoku stands on earth. So
I need more
on that too.
I don't get it. Why are we getting him so cheap? We're getting him right now in terms of underdog ADP as the tight end 12 off the board, 129th overall. When he's been a top 5 tight end in points per game the last 2 years. I don't know what's more egregious, getting Njoku that cheap or George Kittle being 2 full rounds after Trey McBride, 2.5 full rounds after the Brock Bowers. This might being the tight end 1 in points per game last year. Like, what are we doing? Why are people is it because, he's old? Like, we don't want Kittle? Like, I don't get it. Like, he's arguably the best tight end in the league.
I think part of it is just the stacking element of people don't know who to stack them with.
That's a big part of it.
I think I think he'd probably be going around where Andrews goes if that was the case, where you just like feel a little bit more confident. And people are just scared. It's the Browns stink, right?
Yeah.
I think that also plays into it as well. But yeah, man, anytime he's not playing with Deshaun Watson, he's just absolutely cooking. So huge value right now.
Yes, sir.
So Danny, the people have been wondering, everyone wants to know. So a big question I've got for you that I hope you can answer for us. Everyone really wants to know, are you a mimosas or a Bloody Mary guy at brunch?
You mean a Caesar? You mean a Caesar?
If I'm having one, it'd be a mimosa. With that being said, I don't know when's the last time I've had a brunch. I'm going to be honest. I need to get some more brunches going.
You heard it here first, folks. He's a late sleeper. He's sleeping through the brunches, not making it up in the morning to get some.
Maybe a best ball brunch.
Amen, bro. Best ball brunch. That's what we need. The people need it.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was one of the craziest moments on Twitter in Twitter history, right there.
When Pete got sent the link of the video of that guy boning his wife drafting a best ball draft, and they're like shout out Pete or something. They like shouted him out in the middle. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how are the audience is just tremendous. I mean, It goes to show the entertainment values top.
Imagine if that would have shipped BBM. That would have been just top tier moments in human history right there.
That shit was fucking insane.
Well, Bindles, I know we have a new segment to premiere on Ballsy this week. Should we roll the clip? Are ready for it? We got our takes ready? Let's hit it.
Ayo.
Incredible.
Let's get it.
So I have two, and they're both quarterback focused. My first one is a man close to Danny's heart. It's Drake May. I think he's going like late second right now in Dynasty startups. I think he pushes up to kind of like that mid first range by next year. I'm a huge Drake May stan, but there was a clip. I feel like people know that Drake May is a good runner, but it's hard to really contextualize. Like, he was truly like one of the best runners as a rookie in a terrible system. And now they have Josh McDaniels, who I think can scheme some stuff up. They have some more competent weapons. So I think, yeah, he's just it's also kind of the Patriots stink that surrounds him. And there will be people that are stands of him that will take him. But I just think it's hard to get like a true Konami quarterback in that second round that's young. So yeah, I think if you can trade for Drake May right now, even like a Herbert, they go right next to each other in ADP. I like Herbert, and nothing against Herbert, but just I think Drake May, just the rushing upside is just absolutely huge there. So that's my
my heart. You're speaking to my heart right now.
I saw you just took him in that startup that you were doing, or it might still be going on, right, with the creator one.
I mean, he's absolutely free at this point. You're telling me I can get him? I got CeeDee Lamb at the 112, Drake May at the 201. How can you get better than that? To me, I mean, that's the key to my heart. You see the Cowboys jersey in the back, you know the rooting interest there. But yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Drake May, absolute stud. Overall in the season, I mean, he took 50 plus carries for 400 plus rushing yards. And that was after the coaching staff literally said, "Hey, Drake, we're tanking. Stop running, relax a little bit." Like, there was literally a report. The Patriots asked them to stop running as much. I mean, you look at the overall Patriots win total, it's at 8.5 right now. Vegas expects, with Vrabel coming over, that they're going to be a lot more competent of a football team, not a football team that finishes the top 4 overall pick, taking Will Campbell there, of course, fortifying that offensive line. A team that can legitimately compete for the AFC East. Now, obviously, we're going to favor the Buffalo Bills, but why can't the Patriots be the second best team in that division? Top of that, Stephon Diggs, yeah, sure, maybe he's partying with pink bags, maybe he's hooking up with some girls on boats, He's having a good time. Whatever. Be my guest.
He's a wide receiver. You got to let him do his thing. Come on.
Dating Cardi B, you need a little bit of diva level. I mean, you just look at that Brian Robinson interview from a couple years ago. Who you wouldn't let date your sister? I mean, there's a reason why Stephon Diggs was the popular answer.
Diggs.
Guys, Dalvin Cook took a second to think about it, and then he knew.
I'm a good guy.
I'm a good guy. They said that?
I mean, heck, you had Kyle Williams in the bunch. You had, obviously, Hunter Henry. Again, he's kind of sexless, don't get me wrong, but talking about a third target in your offense, you can't go wrong with a Hunter Henry. I mean, it's just the epitome of a solid, average tight end. Why can't he be this team's Dalton Schultz plus? I think he's better than Dalton Schultz, for example.
Yeah, no, good call. And then my other one, also quarterback related. It's kind of whatever, best ball and dynasty, but I think Justin Fields finishes as a top 5 quarterback in points per game.
Love that.
Super strong O-line. Obviously not much outside of Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor they drafted, but I just think, talk about running. That's the theme with both my guys, is that Konami code upside. I think we see a real strong year from Fields, kind of a bounce back. And I think you want to be taking his ADP right now just makes no sense. It's still, what is it, like in around 100, 105, something like that. It's creeping up, but I think you can make a case for him a few rounds earlier. It's just kind of that weird section where there's no real quarterbacks that go for a couple rounds. That's kind of, you don't have to take them earlier, but yeah, man, I'm all in on Fields. Shout out to Best Ball Guy, the resident Jets fan in my heart. And yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
yeah, and we're load up your bags on Justin Fields as well. So I will toss it to you, Danny, for your ballsy take.
Ballsy take. How spicy do I want to get here? I'm thinking I could either represent my Canadian boy, or I can go back to the Big Apple with the team that's let me down so many times. Or I can just say both. Fuck it. We may as well make it both. I think
Ripper.
at both Chase Brown and Brees Hall, who are currently being selected. How many picks? Let me just take a look. Running back ADP. For Chase Brown, you're looking at about 7 picks of ADP. For Brees Hall, you're looking at about 14 picks of ADP. Both of them finished ahead of Jonathan Taylor. What are we doing here? I don't understand it, to put it simply. Chase Brown, when he became the bell, but first and foremost, you're comparing the offensive levels. I mean, yeah, sure, the Jets offense is a profile good. The Colts offense is at best an average level projection, in my opinion. On top of that, Brees Hall comparatively going to catch way more passes than Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, a 0 in the passing game. You look at Brees Hall, for example, guy who led the running back position in targets just 2 years ago. So I think with Brees Hall, you're looking at a potential 200 rushing attempt, 90 target type of ceiling. And on top of that, I mean, Chase Brown, you get the tetherment to that Bengals offense. Obviously, Chase Brown, once he got the full workload down the stretch, number one in terms of running back position and expected PPR points per game. Obviously, a 20-plus point per game scorer. Sure, he could lose potential work, but are we really betting on Taj Brooks taking a majority backfield share over Chase Brown based on what he showed? Chase Brown, 3-down back profile to that Bengals offense, like I said. On top of that, Burrow threw the ball a ton last year. Like, I expect them to throw the ball a ton. Don't get me wrong. They were number 8 in terms of overall plays run, number 1 in neutral pass rate. Like, I think they're going to inherently throw the football, but I also think they were forced midseason. Oh, shoot. We only have Chase Brown healthy. We have to preserve him because he's getting 20-plus touches. We have to start throwing the football more. What if we start to see, inside the 5, inside the 3-yard line, Joe Burrow goes from 43 passing touchdowns to 37. 37 is still a great year, for example, but maybe 6 of those touchdowns swing to the running back position. And Chase Brown showed that last year he was able to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, dude, their defense is so bad too. They have Hendrickson, their first round defensive end they drafted as well, kind of having some contract dispute issues. So yeah, every piece, even Mike Gesicki. I'm not even a Mike Gesicki guy, but like he's gonna
cheap.
have,
you may as well.
He's gonna have some touchdowns. So yeah, that's a good call on both of those. I like those.
The final thing I'll say on JT real quick. 38% of his production. Yeah, sure. We want it in the playoff weeks, weeks 16 to 18, meaning that in the first 15 weeks of the season, he was the RB 21 in points per game. More than likely, you didn't even make the semifinal game to enjoy his, 39-point week, 28-point week, and 25-point week 16 to 18.
The only place I had him was in my $100 league with Ron Stewart, and it won me the championship. So I'm happy.
If you got to that spot with him, he won it for you. That was. I mean, it goes back to the best ball question that we've asked so many times. It's like, if you knew somebody was going to be the RB1 overall, the wide receiver 1 overall in a week, but they were maybe a much lower rate of advancement at that point, like you getting there would be so low. It's like you're taking the guy that's going to give you the win equity in those weeks. I'm not taking away from JT per se, but also we got to contextualize that 6 of his seasonal 12 touchdowns came in that 3-week stretch.
Fair, very fair. Yeah. Candyman, you're looking ballsy tonight. What's your take?
Well, I want to memorialize this take because I've been saying it all summer, but I want to put it on the board as my first official ballsy take of the week. But it's going to be a take that we're watching all summer. It's a best ball take, but it's just a player take for this year. I think Jordan Mason is going to surpass the ADP of Aaron Jones with continued drumbeat and hype and good coach speak and beat reporters, turning on to the idea of, hey, this guy could be our elite, rushing upside attack kind of running back. I think Aaron Jones still factors in with regards to the passing game, but Jordan Mason in his first official start last season in week 1 against the Jets, if I remember correctly, put up 149 yards and a touchdown on a spot start. We weren't sure if McCaffrey was going to be playing. Maybe they knew, but Jordan Mason said in an interview afterwards he didn't know. So I think this is a guy who's going to get opportunities in a really solid offense with Kevin O'Connell and a team that is hopefully moving in the right direction. got a lot of strong offensive, firepower. And I'm pretty psyched on him. I think I saw a lot of potential last season, and if it wouldn't have been for the injuries, I think he would have kept rolling on. So I'm excited for Jordan Mason. I see his ADP rising. I've been drafting him aggressively all summer, and I'm thinking there's a chance. Right now I'd say it's ballsy because it's probably about a 30% chance he can flip Aaron Jones, but we just got to hear that steady drum beat. Maybe it'll happen, but I still believe, and I'm not completely out on Aaron Jones. Definitely a guy that can hit spike weeks, has been a fantasy stud for years, right? But has Aaron Jones ever shared a backfield with another capable runner this capable at actually running the ball, this efficient, this dominant? And I was thinking about that earlier today. I don't know the answer for sure. I have to look more into it with some research, but this could just be the guy that you got to feed him the ball and you got to keep him on the field. Jordan Mason, 2025.
Yep.
Put it on the board.
Yeah, good offense. Yeah, could score a bunch of touchdowns. I like it.
I've been more of the Aaron Jones side. However, with that being said, when I'm in the 9th round, I'm taking him over Cam Scatterby, for example. Like him versus Tyrone Tracy, it's been kind of like the toss-ups. If I have, for example, a ton of Lions or Vikings on my team, specifically for that Week 17 correlation, I think Jordan Mason's a good bring back. Because even if maybe I think the standalone role might be a little bit overplayed, because I think Aaron Jones is still a very good football player, talking about just the implied upside of alone. If he has a week to himself where he is the Minnesota Vikings running back 1 because Aaron Jones suffered a hamstring sprain, where would he be ranking our rankings? We'd be ranking him probably as a top 5 to 8 back. So even if that scenario specifically only happens 2 or 3 games this year, that's already a bang for your buck in the 9th round, because that's going to be legitimate 18 plus half PPR point per game level production.
Totally. He's got the contingent value, a lot of upside there, and a great offense that should be moving the ball, scoring the ball. That reminds me, I want to get your take on JJ McCarthy.
I mean, I'm a Michigan fan, so pretty simple there. I think we were robbed last year, obviously, with the knee injury. Preseason flashed a ton of upside. Shout out JJ McCarthy, by the way, a big topic of conversation in the BDG trivia. For those of you that know, you know. If you don't know, you can just check the whole comment section, completely ripping me apart. But hey, I mean, that's for another day. JJ McCarthy, I think the talent is there, the mobility is there. Obviously, people will point, well, the low volume at Michigan, 3rd down and long, money plays, need to have it plays. JJ McCarthy was making them on a consistent basis, able to operate within the context of the pocket, obviously being able to extend plays. I mean, his best weapon, as much as I love Colson Loveland, it's like, it was Colson Loveland and it was Roman Wilson. He didn't have a Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, he didn't have a Malik Neighbors. Like, he didn't have an elite, number 1 alpha receiver. And talking about legitimate 15-0 national champion that, like I said, didn't have to carry the context of the offense, but when he was needed to be able to make those money plays, he came through basically every time for Michigan. Like, there were so many clutch situations, even in that Ohio State game itself, where we don't have JJ McCarthy against Ohio State and Alabama that year. Like, we don't win. Straight up.
Right.
So,
and I'm all aboard. I think JJ McCarthy, I think he's got it. I think he's just a winner. He's a national champion. He's obviously, we got to see him. We got to see him produce, and we got to see him on an NFL field get some action. But I'm pretty confident in him as a prospect, an incredible QB class to be a part of that he's emerging from, and And then, the 101. Look at that. So
streamer luck, baby. Let's get it.
This is literally the. I think last night I got a 101 with Jamar Chase, and I did a pretty shitty job of drafting a good team. But it was like my first Jamar Chase in like 2 months for best.
It kind of get overwhelmed. You're like, oh shit, I can't let him down. Like, Jamar's looking at me to build a team around him. I can't let him down here.
I think we got the crew to do it. We got
Amen.
three ballsy gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna land the plane.
Hey, speaking to real quick on JJ McCarthy. I mean, maybe this is just the Michigan fan in me talking, but obviously this is hyperbole. This is exaggerated. Why don't we look at potential baby Burrow here? What are we doing?
I was gonna say one of my ballsy takes. I didn't want to give you 3, but I was gonna say, like, I think he could easily push up into like that early second round range next year.
I love that.
If he is what we think he is in that offense, right? Like we saw Sam Darnold finish he was QB 8 or something like that last year. Like, yeah.
Oh
just
yeah, great season.
with those
Oh, yeah.
weapons. And Darnold does run a decent amount, but I think JJ, he is coming off the ACL, so maybe not early season, but he's a more than competent runner, very athletic, and I think that down the stretch next year could give you some solid floor as well to the passing. So
it was such a weird circumstance with the context of his injury, because like he was perfectly fine. And it's like, oh, well, he needs to clean up his meniscus. And then people are like, okay, that's fine. Routine cleanup. And then a week later, it's like, oh, well, no, actually that cleanup results in him missing the rest of the season. It's like, oh, okay. Like that would have been nice to know beforehand. Like you're just telling me that after you tease me with the preseason. Like, why are we blue balling here? Let's be for real.
Yeah,
like we watched JJ McCarthy literally look like the next coming before the cleanup. Like we got left with such a bitter taste in our mouth, knowing what could have happened.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we wouldn't have gotten the crazy Sam Darnold season, but it would have been interesting to see like what they won, 14 games last year with Darnold. Like maybe they're pushing for the Super Bowl. Probably not against
potential defensive regression.
Yeah, and well, I mean, it's going to have to regress, right? Like they were same with the Eagles, right? Like there's just no way they're as good as they were last year on defense. Like almost impossible to do. And yeah, I mean, they ran both those teams ran so hot on defense that there'll be some regression there. So yeah, I think it's wheels up for the Vikings. I'm scared for my Lions. I think they had a couple of years where they had their shot, and yeah, I'm a little worried about my Lions. I think they'll still be a solid team. Yeah. But it's you only get so many chances in the NFL to kind of contend, and you have a short window, and it doesn't usually happen after that window. So
hey, I've lived it a couple times. It's like realistically, I mean, I've suffered heartbreak as a Cowboys fan on multiple occasions, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Not to the level of, I mean, I would guess it's pretty comparable. I mean, 2014 would probably be the best comparable team, or I mean, 2016 probably not, as because obviously Goff more of a veteran quarterback this year compared to that year was a rookie Dak. But that 2014 team with Romo with the run game, like you could kind of make the comparisons. They're great offensive line play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that 49ers game, man, I was like, it's like I'm a very just like I take everything. I'm not like a homer at all. And I was hyped for that game, man. And it was just like my heart just sank with that Brandon Ayuk catch off of the DB's helmet. That was just an absolutely gutting feeling there. So
it is like pretty remarkable, just given the context of like the I would say the narrative of the team in the 2 years. It's like if you were to ask somebody, given the blind resumes of the regular season and the general hype and the general talk about the Lions, that the 2023 team would have advanced to a further round than the 2024 team. Like, what were the odds of that actually happening?
Probably not super high. Yeah. And then, just last year, all those injuries on defense, Hutchinson going down, like they were just
Genty 16. Sorry.
Little fall there. Yeah. A little fall with Genty, the wide receivers getting snatched up in the 11-12 spot. Henry and then Achane going one pick before Genty. You don't always see that. So Henry went a little bit early. Kind of unique second round so far.
Sorry to cut you off, by the way. I looked at the board. I'm like,
wait,
Genty 16 does not look right.
It's happening, though. People are starting to fear
17 too
and doubt the rookies just that much more. The rookies have been sliding a tiny bit.
I mean, we'll take the value here. I mean, not us, but like that guy. I mean, Cat walking, probably a very unique combo given the context of their ADPs. And you're getting the week 17, like 9 and 16.
Yeah, that's actually pretty sweet. You don't see a lot of neighbors Genty, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully for our sake, he doesn't have a sliding value in round 3, because that would really separate him from the teams that are maybe taking the 112-201 combination of Genty versus Genty and Neighbors. Sorry.
So Danny, I do have my ranks uploaded, but I'm happy to keep it on ADP either way. Let's load up a few players here. One of your ballsy takes was Chase Brown. I
Yeah.
think it could be fun to go Chase Brown with Jamar Chase here. The only player I'm a little bit bearish on is McBride because it's for some reason it's hard to build out a really sexy, 101 team you want to post on Twitter when you do take McBride. Not that that's the end goal, but it kind of is one way to explain it. It seems hard to dig out of that from the one spot. Do you have a preference here on this first pick?
You want to get so I mean Chase Brown's got to be one of them. Like I said, we're rocking the Canadian. We got the red on. We got the Canadian flag in the background. It's only right. On top of that, I mean cherry on top correlation there. The next pick for me, I mean, if you want to get freaky, you got to go with Ricky.
Tyreek.
I mean, half PPR, best ball setting. He still can run. I mean, I know it's not much, but hey, he's at 100-meter races running a 10.15. That'll play at 32 years old. Really, at this point, we just got to hope the mental is fully there for him. But I don't really think we have any indications it wouldn't be. The wrist injury, it sounds like he's going to be full track to be healthy. On top of that, I mean, we know what McDaniel wants to do on offense. I'm telling you right now, what McDaniels wants to do on offense, or McDaniel wants to do on offense is feed his two elite athlete wide receivers. What he doesn't want to do on a consistent basis in 2025 is check a bunch of screen passes to Devon Achane and Jonnu Smith. Because I saw that way too frequently last year, and I think they kind of were forced to play that, given the health of Tua Tagovailoa, given just how bad that offensive line was. Terrible. I mean, Devon Achane was averaging what? Devon Achane on the season, did he even crack 4 yards per carry, or was that 3.9?
It was, I don't remember.
It was low.
It was horrendous. Yeah.
For a guy that broke efficiency charts the year before.
Yeah, that I am still in on Achane because I think.
Oh yeah.
I think it was funny. Karain early in the offseason was like, I don't know. I just felt like it was such a bad faith argument. He was just like, I feel like it's like the thing with Achane is he has multiple outs, right? Like he has the passing game work. He's probably not going to get as many targets, but that's still there. And do we really think Devon Achane just like stopped being good, stopped being able to have a 50-point week? Like, no, it was the offensive.
He did it in the best ball semifinals.
He still had a huge game. Yeah. So it's like he can get the volume, he can win that way, and he can win with efficiency, even if he doesn't get as much work in whatever on the season and in any given game. So I just feel like he's kind of like a cheat code, especially in best ball, right? Where you don't have to pick and choose. You can just get those spike weeks when they come. I love Achane. I was listening to you guys, Danny. I don't know if it was Bush's ranks did one of you guys have him as a first round pick? I forget. Maybe I missed
Bush has Devon Achane as a first round pick. Reason being is so I have my 4, 5, 6 in the order McCaffrey, Genty, and Achane. Okay. He actually has Achane above McCaffrey and Genty, and he also has him above that 1-2 turnout receiver there with Nico Amon and Brian Thomas Jr. So that'd be the difference between ours. Again, I still love Achane. I'm taking with the top 15 pick. It's just for me, I would take the league winning upside of McCaffrey. Funny enough, when we were talking about the balls he takes, the one that I was going to talk about, but I chose the other two that I ended up mentioning. One of them was like, why is the ADP gap between Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey as large as it is? But we are seeing on Underdog that kind of close. However, I still think it may exist in home leagues. Like you're going to see Saquon Barkley go as the 102 in a lot of home leagues. Christian McCaffrey is probably going to be a 1-2 turn pick, maybe even a second round pick in home leagues. Like,
yeah, people are going to be scared off. Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, okay, well, they're both inherently risky because they're 28-year-old running backs. I'm getting a much higher receiving floor with McCaffrey should both stay healthy. And McCaffrey 2 years ago literally averaged more points per game than Saquon Barkley did this past year. So I'm really just equating it out. Like, sure, you want to take Saquon Barkley because you're still getting the 11.5 implied win total. We don't really know what kind of the context of the San Francisco offense might look compared to past years. I think those are fine concerns to make. However, when I'm having a running back that is more involved in the passing game with legitimately more PPR upside, like why is the gap as large as it is basically kind of what I'm pointing to here. Underdog's kind of realizing that. That's why you're seeing him start to go at 7th overall.
Yeah, he's been steadily moving up, kind of leg up. Some of the other big services are ranking him higher. So finally that's moving the market. But Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to be out on McCaffrey.
Exactly.
I'm never going to fade a guy who could break the slate, be the guy you have to win it all. And that's McCaffrey definitely fits that bill. So let's just mix him in and draft like you're right. In this case, when we took Tyreek Hill, we're saying he bounces back, he comes back to form.
Exactly.
He has a great season. So we're betting on that. We're going to play this draft out like that's true. And I think we have a really nice start here. Through our first 3 picks, we've got Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, and Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. So we're coming up on our 4th and 5th round picks. Danny, who's catching your eye here if I sort it by ADP?
So I would have pointed that obviously if Waddle had fallen, we could have potentially stacked him with Tyreek, played a Tua card later on in the draft. For me, I think we got to go with a wide receiver and a running back here. The running back that I actually would prefer wouldn't be the top listed name there, be the second listed name. We're playing to win it all. You mentioned a scenario, hey, week 17, balls on the line. I don't want to be without McCaffrey. Guess what? If Amari Hampton's the workhorse running back for the Chargers week 17, he's going to be a top 6 ranked running back in our rankings. So to me, as long as we build out, grab your Eckler in round 13, grab your vegetables later on, your Tank Bigsby, your guys that can give you the early immediate season play. By week 6, if Amari Hampton has a 70% opportunity share for the Chargers, he's going to be a top 10 running back, potentially top 5 running back rest of the season.
Let's go Pickens. I think Danny wants Pickens.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
You won't hear me complain about George.
Boom.
Dude, I'm also I just I think it was Jacob Sanderson was talking about how comparing George Pickens to T. Higgins. Obviously, there's a little bit of a difference there, but I think the pass volume for the Cowboys is going to be pretty high. We see their running backs. It's kind of a mishmash of guys who we don't think are all that great. And Dak, when he's been healthy every other year, and this is the year where he's right, like it's historically, he can go for 5,000 yards. Like we've seen him do it before. So I think just being the number 2 target in that offense, Lamb is going to get his. That's nothing against Lamb whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
But Pickens, it's just a perfect setup from an offensive perspective, from a skill set perspective, with Lamb kind of playing off of him. So yeah, I personally like him a lot more than I know. Metcalf, obviously they have Rodgers confirmed now there, so he'll give you some spikes. But I think Pickens is just like such a good blend of he'll have floor because of the target volume in that offense. Plus he gives you the spike weeks and just the big play potential that we've seen from George Pickens. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Danny. 100%.
Speaking to my heart again, I mean, if I'm wishing Corey could have heard somebody else agree with me on a Cowboys player, because apparently the minute I back a Cowboys player, I met with Cowboys homer. It's like, oh, it's the story as old as time, every single time. I mean, the main one, of course, that started obviously George Pickens versus Metcalf. Apparently, I was quote unquote delusional for thinking that Pickens and Metcalf, real life talent wise, are very comparable receivers. I don't know why that would be a hot take, but apparently it is because he's wearing a star on his helmet. But yeah, it happens. CeeDee Lamb 102. I mean, it goes back to the fact that when he was fully healthy in 2023, he literally averaged more points per game than what Jamar Chase did this past season. On top of that, even in the games that Dak played, Dak wasn't playing, I would say, from a production standpoint at the level we can expect. I actually made the graphic on TikTok, but comparatively 18 less passing yards per game, I believe 0.8 less passing touchdowns per game. Even despite that, he was averaging 18.5 points per game PPR, top 5 overall mark at wide receiver, which is just 0.2 points per game less than what Justin Jefferson was at last year. So even though it wasn't the year we expected from CeeDee Lamb, given that he was a top 2 overall pick with McCaffrey last year, at the same time, it's like, well, we think Jefferson was, a great pick. And obviously he was, because he was going at 8 as opposed to 2. But at the same time, when you actually look at their seasons on a point per game basis, when he had Dak, with a Dak that wasn't playing at the level from a production standpoint, like I said, that we can expect, I'm taking him 102. He's the only guy, in my opinion, on a spike week perspective, on an offensively insulated perspective, can match that of Jamar Chase on a seasonal basis.
And I think that's a perfectly cromulent homer take from a Cowboys fan who can't do anything but draft Cowboys. No, that's a great point. I like that. It's just defensible position. And I'm not that ballsy. I don't have CD at my 102, but he is my 3rd overall player. So I want to get a lot of them. And I think I've got like 15, 16% through my current draft. So I'm in.
There we go. Let's get it. Also, I saw that earlier today. That was quality.
Yeah, this is catching fire,
dude. Any tweet. I had another Jaden Reed tweet that just like the algorithm just absolutely ripped. But yeah, this one is hilarious. Like, I love these because, like, my
Yeah.
favorite like bad faith one to do is Jacoby Myers because his number, like, but you can put him against pretty much any, like, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, like literally anyone, and he has better stats. But yeah, it's funny because I'm a Lions fan. Like, I like JMO like real life,
Right.
and we're getting good coach speak on him. Like, I think he's a good player, but
Yeah.
I mean, I just think Jaden Reed, like, people can't. He's just
People
good.
think he's worthless right now, and it's like, dude, he's so efficient on his touches, and his quarterback literally getting hurt literally led to a bottom 2 offensive situation in terms of pass volume. Like you were saying earlier, outside of the Eagles, who were operating at prehistoric rates from a passing perspective, less than, I believe, 400 pass attempts on the year. I mean, the Packers just completely fell off a cliff from a passing volume perspective, and that comes with the fact that Jordan Love suffered an MCL sprain. People initially thought, did he tear his ACL? Is he out for the year? And he was back in 2 weeks. He wasn't playing like the same Jordan Love we knew from 2023. If he gets back to that level, now you add a field-stretching 3-level threat receiver on the boundary, that could only help the intermediate space, yak space for a guy like Jaden Reed with that skill set to be able to work. So between him, between Golden, between Kraft, like, the Packers' value right now just feels so free.
Yeah.
And I hate the Packers. Also, we get sniped. Pain.
Joe Burrow, it happens. We weren't really. I just
we
started
need to keep a
get
tab on
excited.
Ace.
I just started to be like, hey, you know what? Joe Burrow could. He's gone.
We need to keep a tab on Ace's team and how he catches up at receiver because he is going the rainbow route.
Holy crap! I didn't.
He is playing it ballsy. I think he's taking 2024
Let's get it
a little bit
naked Burrow too.
Setting the tone.
We can go our boy Golden if we want to get some Green Bay.
Did Jaden Reed just go? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he went to pick the 4. Golden's there.
Anything else?
Can you hear me out? Macro strat, if I don't get a top 3 tight end and I don't get a top 3 quarterback, I punt quarterback and tight end and I stack up 4 running backs and 4 receivers or 3 running backs and 5 receivers in the first 8 rounds. Because to me, it's like, why take Laporta as the tight end 472nd off the board if I'm getting David and Njoku so much later on? Like, to me, the projections are similar.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go running back here, Danny? We have 4 wide receivers.
Let's go Quinshon, baby, or Quinshon or Downs. I'll let you make the choice because I know you like both. Ooh. Unless Downs would fall back, but I mean, to me, it's either or.
He's not falling back, Candyman. You're the judge here. You want to go Quinshon or you want to go Downs?
I do like the Downs take. I think we're just in the wrong spot to get him, but maybe it would have been nice to get different and take a player, pull a player around. So I let it hit on Quinshon. I think it's another really fun pick, a lot of upside. I will say, man, maybe we'll see. Downs had been going over here on this left side of the board for a long time, and now he's rising up to he's on the other side of the board. So it's not like, maybe if we pulled him around here, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just all about taking the right players. So Downs can definitely be a guy. I think I've been hearing a lot of good things on him. I've always been a fan of his, but I didn't really take advantage of the ADP discrepancy, and now it continues to rise. So, Danny, do you have a strong Downs take that you want to let us in on?
I'm drafting him aggressively. He's still the wide receiver 48 in ADP. I have him ranked as a wide receiver 32. Realistically, we talked earlier. What's the difference in projection between Josh Downs and Jameson Williams?
Not that much.
And we're getting one how many rounds cheaper?
and we're looking for him. Obviously, his per game numbers have been pretty good, but he continues to take a step forward, plays healthy. Do you think Danny Dimes is the right QB for his situation, or would you have leaned into the Anthony Richardson scenario?
At the beginning of the offseason, I was pretty staunch Richardson. Obviously, now that the tea leaves are kind of unfolding the way they are, I'm taking calculated shots at both. Really, in my drafts, whoever falls a little bit cheaper, I've kind of been hedging on because I want to be in on both at the current market cost. Because as soon as one gets announced, he will be the starter, you're probably looking at a 4 or 5 round swing up. Like, realistically, right now, they're both going, round 16, round 17? Like, what's the difference between them and the guys going, maybe not 4 or 5 rounds, but let's just say at the minimum 2.5 to 3.5 rounds? Like,
so realistically, it's very possible the
Them and Sam Darnold
uncertainty around the QB. And it is kind of weird. I think I expected Aaron Rodgers to rise even faster and even further up the board. He's moving, but he still hasn't caught up to where I have him ranked. And then, like you said about Danny Dimes, if he is our day one starter, I think he does jump at least a full round immediately. And then how much further from there, it's like, who knows?
Yeah. And sorry, going back to why Quinshon Judkins, people might be wondering. Obviously, Brown's offense, not the cleanest projection. Really, to me, especially in a best ball format, just taking a calculated shot, top 40 pick, elite athlete, 220 plus pound size. When you look at the prospect profile of Quinshon Judkins, we were actually doing this on the channel in our Can't Stop Drafting video, but the best comparable prospects right now, I mean, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, obviously Derrick Henry, but the context of him is he's behind DeMarco Murray year one. DeMarco Murray was like an 1,100 yard rusher that year in Tennessee. And then Nick Chubb, obviously Nick Chubb behind Carlos Hyde to start. Week 7 on, he gets that workload. You look at their productions. Breece Hall, 16.4 points per game before his ACL tear. Dalvin Cook, 16.4 points per game before his ACL tear. Kenneth Walker, 13.5. DeAndre Swift, 14.6. Nick Chubb, 12.2 on the season as a whole. 16.5 once he got that starting role. You equate that to where those point per game averages would have been in 2024. RB13, RB13, RB21, RB19, and then for Nick Chubb, RB25 on or RB25 as a whole, RB25 as a whole, RB12 once he got the heightened workload. And we're drafting Quinshon Judkins at RB24. To me, you're drafting him at his floor.
I like that. I'm a big fan. I think he's powerful runner. He had that true freshman breakout at Ole Miss, and I've been waiting for him to enter the NFL. I know you have in your Devy leagues as well. Yeah. So you've been. It's a long time coming, but he's finally here, and I think we're going to see one of the next NFL stars at the running back position, a true powerful running back that can get you some touchdowns.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. People are so confident in the Browns offense is going to be really, really bad. It's like, what if they are better than expectation? Like, I think that we have to bake that into the equation because they were so bad last year. What if Joe Flacco or Shedeur Sanders or insert quarterback is just all they have to do is be better than Deshaun Watson and fucking Dorian Thompson?
Do we double tap Mahomes Kelsey, or is that gross?
No,
I would rather. If
do we take Kyler for the bring back with?
I'd be cool with your boy Mason.
Yeah, let's go Mason first, and then tap the receiver. Let's see what we have here at receiver. Do we want to go rookie Burden?
Hey, I was hoping you bring it up. I know you like Burden. I'm cool going Burden. Again, if
we could also pull up Dak. I mean, if we just wanted to secure him and not worry about it, but what do you get? What are you feeling here?
Too many quarterbacks on the board to take.
Would you take Dak over Kyler Murray?
Probably not.
I would honestly wait until this stretch and hope he falls back to the Fields. Because that's the thing. Let's go
Burden. I think Burden is yeah.
Let's take Burden here.
So with Burden specifically too, real quick, it also gives us the back door if we want to get Caleb Williams plus Colston Loveland. We have that opportunity. Obviously, there's still quarterbacks left on the board with Mahomes, Murray, and Fields, where if they go off, you're hoping that Caleb plus Dak. I mean, even with Purdy and Nix on the board, you're hoping that realistically, if 5 quarterbacks go, Dak and Caleb aren't one of them.
We're in a good spot. I mean, the problem with our pick is the CD Lamb drafter is on our inside, so he's going to have a go at Dak at 117. But he just took Mahomes, and he already took Hurts, so there's a chance that
I mean, at that point, he could take Dak and ruin his own win equity. That would be my guess.
Exactly. So I think there's a solid chance now that I looked at that we could get Dak on our next pick. We still have outs with Tua late. We could go Love late. I don't think Caleb's going to make it back to us, but there's always a chance. It'd be rare, but I've seen Caleb fall sometimes. And then
double topping them if we need to.
You know, it's funny, as a player, I've also seen, and we'll be kind of in that range where he should go, but or maybe it's a bit early, but Justin Herbert, I think, is kind of criminally undervalued, where if he just kind of continues what he's been doing lately, yeah, it's probably a good price on him. But if he can get back to what he was doing his first couple of years in the league, his true stealing outcomes in some of those games with like 4 touchdowns, maybe he gets a little rushing touchdown in there too. I think that would be kind of like my ceiling outcome aspiration for him, and that he would be, he's outside of the top 12 quarterbacks. Is that right or wrong? I don't know. I think it's close, but
Candyman, I think we have a backloaded clip. Whenever you want to roll.
Oh,
you know what? I was gonna ask Danny, could you read off our last, and if you can see it there, can you read off our last 4 picks?
Yes, so Matthew Golden, Quinn.
Ocean Wisner's already in the backfield. Play action. You're setting up
What the hell? 2.5 my speed exotic. What the hell?
Golden makes the catch despite getting hit.
Stefan Bro lässt dich verschwinden. Kann Zaubertricks wie Harry. Was zum Fick? Sie sagen Männer ohne Geld kennt ihr ein Krieg. Was zum Fick? Bitch, ich weiß überhaupt nicht mal, wer du bist. Was zum Fick? Ich sag Hexer, weil mein Rucksack viel Gewicht. Was zum Fick?
Hey.
I'm not even gonna bullshit. When I make a pick in a dynasty draft or in a best ball draft, sometimes when I'm feeling about it, I'll roll up the highlights. Hey, yo, what's
gotta
the
do it. What do you
TikTok
mean?
edit I can find?
Dude, that's literally like half the fun of doing a startup is just like hyping yourself up after taking a pick. So yeah,
That's the best part. You draft your team and then you immediately watch the highlights of that team, whether it's your startup for dynasty or it's the rookie draft or even the redraft leagues, with your home league. That's like the best time to watch those Josh Allen clips and highlights is right after you take them, in your auction draft. So
You feel great, and then they get convinced you're just like, oh fuck, I got the seal of the draft in my pick. And it's like you could go to gotten one pick after ADP. It's like, yeah, I got the fucking seal of the draft. What are we talking about here?
that's what we live for here.
Hey, man. Also, we saw. I mean, I wasn't joking when I said we've seen 6 quarterbacks go off the board since I said we'd see 5.
Yeah, this is the window, man. They just all go, and you're just hoping your stacked guy, your correlated guy, falls to you. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We have outs with Tua, with Love.
Yeah.
We can always backstack if we really need to. So
Yeah, I'm not worried about reaching on a quarterback, knowing that there's just so many opportunities. Hey, cool. Worst case scenario, I have to do a 3 quarterback build now where I draft Jordan Love plus Trevor Lawrence and a Daniel Jones to be cheeky.
hey, 3 QB builds are all the rage, apparently.
The meta.
Everyone's talking about them.
Also, look at Ace of Clubs. He realized, oh shoot, I don't have any orange. I need to add some orange.
Yeah, look at that. He's doing this little late run, and honestly not a terrible recovery.
Yeah, spicy
But,
pick upside there.
And he grabbed Kittle early. I thought Kittle might come back to us at pick 48. So
Oh.
I'm kind of looking forward to that too earlier on.
I literally made a TikTok today that has on the thumbnail just draft George Kittle is what. I'm not even. If I show you this, it literally all it says is just draft George Kittle across it. Here,
well, you got to preach to the people because yeah, he's such a good click right now. Like it's crazy.
Absolutely free. Let me see if I can. Can you see the one on the side there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Draft George.
very nice. We're coming up with our next pick. It's kind of a dead zone for a lot of the skill position guys. Although I will say, yep, Dak Prescott, we get sniped on him.
Oh my god.
No way.
Yeah, do we go ahead and
Let's
pull
go
the trigger on a
May.
Drake May or a Justin Herbert or a Jordan Love? Also, Johnny Smith is there, and we do have Tyreek. It might be a fun way to get to a later. I don't know.
I'm cool with Love or May.
I say we double tap May and Love personally.
I'm cool with it. The other option I was going to suggest is a tight end, knowing that the 12-11, it's sometimes, or sorry, 12-12, it's sometimes tough to get a tight end to fall back. I'm cool
Yeah,
with it, though.
we could do Tua later instead of Love if you want. Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. If you have Loveland, Njoku.
We could also try to play it Love and Craft, but I'm cool with either. If you want to take the tight end now and secure the first, I think we have to take the tight end now simply
Let's get
because we
Love,
have the backdoor.
right?
Oh, we could do that too.
I do feel pretty confident in our ability to get some quality tight ends later. I'm always good with punting tight end, and we'll figure that part out. I mean, I think
Kraft could fall to us too,
maybe Kraft comes back around. I highly doubt it.
That's a good point.
There's a stacking partner tight end for May that we can get later.
Yep.
And then we don't have to take Jonnu just to get a path to Tua. Tyreek and Tua is plenty enough. I'll bet on that. And I think we will have a shot of getting Tua later. I don't think, Love in May totally takes us out of the Tua game either. So I think we just keep it an option. But if we didn't take Love there and then we get sniped on Tua later, we'd be pretty, down the creek, up the creek without a paddle, whatever the saying is.
We've seen 12 quarterbacks go since our Luther Burden pick.
And somehow, Danny, you've willed Geno Smith into pick 123. So
11-3 Geno Smith.
Ahead of Jared Goff, no less. No. Like, come on,
what's his ADP?
It's like, I want to say it's
155
or 160.
Oh my God.
I should know this. It's 163.
Yeah, that was a good guessing. It could be a game show, just like, what is this player's ADP? You don't know.
Hey, speaking of that, I will be on Wednesday on Fanspeak Network doing Best Ball Jeopardy against the Fantasy Dog Pound. We got some players in the tournament, so I'm hoping to make my mark and push in there as a 16 seed against some of the big dogs. So
you got that shit. Come on, I know a sicko when I see one.
Yeah, Bindles, you gotta take the W. So we have the two ballsy guys making it into the bracket.
That's
I
true.
Took down Hartman a few weeks ago. Tough opponent, actually.
Dude,
Hartman
I just watched that. That was
a nice one. A nice.
You gotta send me the link. I gotta see that now. You send me the link,
dude. It's a really good format. It's really fun. Like it's a fun time. They do a great job. They set it up. It's crazy. Like Candyman, I can tell he was a math whiz because the bye-week math. He was doing like some crazy bye-week math. Not only remembering it, but actually getting the math correct, like without any scratch or anything. So shout out to Candyman. He was killing it.
That's typical.
Appreciate you.
Let's go. Yeah, definitely send me the VOD for that. I'll watch that for sure.
Yeah, I'll shoot you over something. And then I wonder. I don't see it's. Well, so last week was PPR versus Emo Cowboy was a pretty fun one too, and somehow PPR comes away with like the highest score of the entire segment so far out of everyone. So he really came out on top on that one. But been a lot of really fun matchups. A lot of best ball bros. And then last week, Meg and Steve, they released the rest of the bracket. Of course, Bindles is on the second half of the bracket. Pat from the Fantasy Dog Pound's on it. Justin Herzig's in the bracket. Pete Overzet's in the bracket. I mean, there's some big time best ball bros who are going to be competing in this Best Ball Jeopardy. So it's heating up.
Yeah, let's go, boys. I want to see a final matchup. Like, what are we doing here? Just like the Fantasy Football Championship, you're talking all the shit that week leading up.
Yeah. I was shit talking Hartman the whole time, and then it was a great matchup. But and he's a bro. Huhaim's in here as well. Yeah, it's a blast. Huhaim's is the co-leader currently at the top of the bracket. So no shade on Huhaim's. He also killed it in his episode.
Dude, I wanted one of those 3 tight ends, or 4 tight ends too. Because
I wish we could have gotten Njoku because we were so in on him, but it wasn't meant to be.
I'm literally down punting tight end another turn. I'm respectfully not taking Dallas Goedert in the same round as any of those guys.
Yeah, we can punt it.
Yeah.
We got.
we mentioned.
Oh no, we don't have Ferg stacked.
We mentioned that we have young running, but we could take like an early season player running back like Eckler or someone like that.
Yeah, we can be done at 5. I think if we really want to be and free us up for doing stuff later.
Remember Bigsby? I would say maybe.
Yeah, I've got a lot of Eckler. I'm happy to get some Bigsby in there.
Bet.
Let's think about this.
I don't mind Algier.
Yeah, the other pick's interesting here. We get a little bit of falling value on Besh. We could either take that.
He is falling like a brick. Do we catch the falling knife or do we FUD? The rookie FUD and they're saying that Dante Thornton could be taking the first team snaps. How do we feel about that?
I think we take the value. I don't know.
I think we do.
He was in the early 120s like a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
this is
10 days ago.
So we'll grab Besh with our first pick here.
Yeah, I like that. And then one of those 2 running backs kind of set us up, be done at running back. And then we just take 3 shots at tight end. I mean, we do have the option Ferguson. Technically, we don't have Dak, but you have the correlation that the Cowboys offense is good. Pickens and Ferguson probably.
Do we grab Tua here and just call it a day?
I honestly think that I'm cool with 2 quarterbacks with Love and May. I think you're getting the upside with the Konami of May. And you're getting, if Tua falls back, I mean, like at that point, it's like you take 8.
Any takers on Goddard, or we keep pushing it? Take Eckler.
I'm cool pushing tight end, man. Honestly, let's go to the tight end list.
Yep.
So like if Goddard falls back, obviously that's a pick. But I mean, like I like Ferguson a good bit. We have Hunter Henry option, obviously. This is going to be a 3 tight end build anyway. So I mean, Mike Gesicki's an option too. We have obviously investment with the Bengals offense being good. We want to pair that with the Mason Taylor type, obviously working with Tanner Engstrand. We see a 2nd-round tight end from Detroit just a couple years ago. I know who Bindles is thinking about right now, especially considering Engstrand was the OC for the Detroit Lions. Sure, it was a Ben Johnson offense, not OC, sorry, offensive assistant, passing game coordinator when Ben Johnson was the OC. So you're having a lot of that. On top of that, I believe Ben Johnson literally said Tanner Engstrand had some influence in terms of calling the plays. Let's go. Let's go.
Backstory behind the helmet. My former co-host, El Coach, absolute bro.
Yeah.
He finished 15th in BBM. We were streaming together, and he did me the service of buying me that helmet since I got him into the best ball drafts. So shout out to El Coach, absolute legend of the game. We're gonna have him on.
Top 15's quite a bank, man. Good for him.
Yeah, dude. The crazy part is I think it was 15K or something. But if it would have been the year before, it would have been 115K because they that was the year with the regular season prizes. So it was bittersweet. I mean, obviously no one's gonna bulk at 15K, but that would have been, put a down payment on a house or something with that 115. So
yeah, I mean it beats having to endure that Josh Jacobs pulled out of the game early week 16 against the Saints when you need 3 more points to advance a BBM team to the final. He had a good game. I can't complain. He still had a good game before that, but it's like, dude, either score 2 points and I know, okay, I have no fucking chance, or score the points that I need you to. Scoring 3 under, you're going to give me a heart attack.
It's just pain. It's just pure pain. Yeah.
It says, hey, Daniel, we're going to make this as miserable as we can.
Yeah, dude, that's right. That's the game we're playing with best ball. Is you're hoping for 1 or 2 teams to squeak through, and just the sweat is absolutely unmatched. So
for sure. And I mean, that's the beauty of it. I mean, we're all fantasy football degenerates. Obviously, we love the formatting of the contest, being able to forget about the team at least until you check up, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and you're checking up what teams are performing every single week. On top, just seeing the progression of some teams, the teams you think are good after week 4, you look at it week 8, oh, they're not looking too good. The teams that are good by week 8, it's they were actually doing dog shit in week 3 because Omarion Hampton got vultured by Najee a couple times, but by week 8, he was a full bell cow. You know what I mean? It's shit like that happens every year, and that's the beauty of the game we play.
It's an absolutely beautiful game.
Yep, we don't just draft them to sit there and stare at the teams. You got to watch how it unfolds, sweat it out, weeks 15, 16. If you're lucky, you're there week 17 type of deal.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the thing, too. It's so the year prior, I got my own personal team to the final. This past year, the share team we did with our mod, that one actually ended up making it. Shout out Spicy, by the way.
Spicy. I was going to say, I
Spicy
saw some drafts a couple days ago, and I love the whole coordination of the picks. It's quite a production there to get these drafts in, but I love it.
Yeah, we're advising him on who to take. Obviously, he's got the full. He's got the full affordability.
Scroll, Spicy, scroll.
Hey, if he wants to go against whatever we say, he can. But I know he won't. All jokes aside, though, yeah, no, he's great. I appreciate all the work he helps us with. He does so much for us on the back end. So shout out Spicy, you're appreciated if you're watching this. So yeah,
salute to Spicy.
Amen. Tua and Goddard going off the board. Ouch. How are we taking Zach Ertz over Dallas Goddard, by the way?
And a huge fall on Goddard. I've never seen him go that late. It's pretty shocking. And it's a best ball mania too, but it happens. I mean, these picks kind of pick, round 13 on, just get your guys. The draft capital curve flattens out. It's really just take whoever's there and you want to get. And you could get a little bit of, ADP value, but not as much as you really can in the first, 8-10 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, we see Isaiah likely go off the board, by the way, so I know who we're taking later on.
Yeah, exactly. Leverage off of Isaiah likely.
So far, we've got this 2-5-6-0 build. We've got Drake, May, and Jordan Love. We have a Love stacked with Golden, of course, but we didn't land Burrow or Tua or Dak, Caleb or Geno. Not the biggest problem, though. I think we still have a lot of really talented players on this one. We got to start thinking about how we kind of tie this one together. I think Hunter Henry could easily be one of our picks here.
Yeah, let's go Henry first, and then
I'm cool either double tapping tight end here or taking the plunge on a wide receiver value. I mean, we see Keenan Allen there. What's the ADP on Allen? Is it still in the 180s?
Yeah, I think Allen's about 190, so he should be there for our next pick if we're lucky.
Noel or Pierce. Or
Henry makes sense here.
We could take Strange with the second one and try to get a Diami on the way back to pair with, because obviously we're probably gonna have to take 2 receivers on the next turn. If we go with another tight end here, right?
We got Gesicki for the Cincinnati thing. We could do that as well. What do you guys think between Strange and Gesicki?
Pretty comparable to me. One, you're getting a little bit of ADP value. One, you're potentially getting correlation. I'm cool with either or, to be honest.
Candyman, where do you lean there?
Probably for this team, maybe just leaning towards the Bengals. Go that way.
I'm down for that.
Okay,
I like it. I'm cool with that.
2 unsexy but just good click tight ends there, Henry and Gesicki.
Just for the team level correlation, I think that kind of gets me there. And we do have Chase Brown too, and so we're really starting to say, hey, we don't have Joe Burrow, but we've got some of his weapons, and that can be powerful.
Yeah, and it's like maybe the Bengals offense is what you need, but Drake May punches in 2 rushing touchdowns into week 17, and he scores 3 more points than Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? It's like they could both go off, but if you're getting quarterback 1 versus quarterback 3 on the week, even despite the quarterback 3 elevating the entire offense, it's like, well, if you have the rest of the offense and Drake May, like I said, has that rushing upside, like he could very well still outscore Burrow without taking an entire offense with him. That's the beauty of the rushing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a great point for us to get Drake May when we did miss out on all those pocket passer type quarterbacks like you mentioned. Let's think of, so if we're right now, we look at our week 17 game stacks, haven't built out so much. We've really been letting the board kind of come to us and take what we can. It's tough when you're at the 1 spot. Like I was saying, I had a pretty ugly draft last night out of the 1 spot, but if we focused in on like what other game stacks could we get to from here and what pieces are left, we probably want to play off of our top picks. So we could do something with a late Tampa Bay piece or
Ravens
Cardinals piece.
Ravens play obviously the Packers.
The Ravens, the Jets.
We do have a little correlation with the Eckler Pickens. If maybe hypothetically B-Rob were to miss time in the game. And
we do have Eckler Pickens. Yeah, I didn't catch that. So that, of course, got that one there.
I mean, we could eye like a Tampa Bay player. The issue is all the receivers we kind of like there are off the board, and we kind of just got a force receiver with our next couple of picks, other than 1 tight end. I guess that's a little bit tricky. I mean, Mason Taylor actually. We could take Noah Gray, but also Mason Taylor is a good bring back option with the Drake May that we have.
Yeah,
and we don't have to force the bring back. I think today
take the value.
Yeah, today ETR was putting some breaks on the Mason Taylor picks. They have him pretty low in their ranks. I've taken a ton of Mason Taylor because I take a ton of Justin Fields.
Yeah,
but it does make sense, be a little bit pessimistic on a rookie tight end. He could still be a great player for fantasy one day, but it doesn't have to be year 1. And I've already heard some Jeremy Ruckert news out of some organized team activities. That seems kind of
a
little murky. And then what's the real passing ceiling for Fields going to be? Is there enough for Mason Taylor to eat year 1? I don't know. So I heard them talk about that on their Market Mondays today, and it's like, maybe Mason Taylor is a better flyer pick, but not taking, too much of him. He does make sense as a bring back in this one. We might not have to force it.
We got options for our third.
Yeah. I really like this running back room. Potentially, because we're only taking 2 QBs, we have a luxury pick at the end. Maybe we tack on a 6 running back if we get there, but we don't have to.
Yeah, I'm cool with running back. If we even wanted one more, like if I don't know if he's still available, but if Keenan Allen fell, you want to close off the wide receiver room with a bow because the play there theoretically, if he signs before, there's 2 ways it plays out. Either he signs midseason, he's actually fresh, and you're getting some spike weeks in the midseason on, or he signs before the season, and yeah, sure, he might wear down at the end of the season, but also we have a young wide receiver core to the point where if he gives us a couple spike weeks because Matthew Golden and Jack Besh and stuff are kind of getting their feet wet under them, then for a 17th round pick, you can't really complain.
No, that's a really good shout. Yeah.
Hopkins also makes sense to you, obviously, with the bring back nature of that.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst pick. I don't take a lot of Hopkins.
Me neither.
But it makes sense in this context. We've got a really strong receiver room already with Chase and Hill, Pickens, and then we can afford to take a risk on a Golden, a Burden, and a Besh. Maybe throw in a savvy veteran that really has more of a touchdown upside with one of the league's MVP passers. So I think Keenan Allen's definitely our pick here. I went ahead and queued up Wicks and Savion for kind of save him for later. Maybe that's something we go too late. But we're thinking Keenan Allen. Hunter, was he there still? He's still there. I like Hunter, of course.
Yeah, I'm cool with either. I think we take at least one receiver with one of the picks. If you guys want to go with a running back, I'm cool with that. If you guys want to go with 2 receivers, I'm cool with whatever.
I think we can push our last tight end because it's not too different with all these guys. I like Hunter personally. We were talking him up earlier.
Let's do it.
And then we can
we'll put a bow on it. We'll call it with those receivers, those 7. Grab Jarquez Hunter here for the upside. That'll cap our running back room. Let's take a quick peek at the tight ends. Yeah, I think it's
all Ferguson, Noah Gray, right? Theo Johnson. Insert athletic-ish tight end in a good offensive situation, or just complete freak athlete like Theo Johnson.
Yeah, I'm down.
Boom. So we're in. We've got Jarquez Hunter, Quinshon Judkins, Omarion Hampton. Hey, they said this running back draft class was going to be legendary. We're here to prove that out.
I'm excited. Just even if those rookies don't get the full workload right away, it's like you're betting on one of them, even on a less in touch workload, given that they're young, fresh legs, explosive athletes, to punch off a 40-yard run or to punch off a touchdown because they're talented enough players to be able to do it. So, yeah, there's just multiple paths to paying off early with rookies. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's kind of it's kind of been the cheat code in right, especially for best ball in the playoffs. So you can cover off early on, but like Hampton, he could. Najee could spell him early, but it also could. He could be an early season play as well, right? So
yeah. Oh, I have him ranked straight up over James Cook. We took him over James Cook in this draft, but like that might sound like a hot take to some people. It was like, well, James Cook was the RB20 and expected to have PPR points per game last year, and I just read the data of the fact that top 40 selected elite athlete rookie running back when I was talking about Judkins, a baseline of a top 24 season with, mid RB2 plus level upside. Like for Omarion Hampton's profile, you're getting a first round running back. Like why can't he be what Breece Hall could have been in his rookie year? And except you're getting even 10 plus picks of 80 or ADP value, 10 plus picks in terms of where they went relatively in their own draft classes.
Yeah, I understand why there's some trepidation on Omarion Hampton just because of the Najee thing and kind of the coaching staff kind of seems like they'll lean on the veteran and but I don't know, man. Like it still seems like it's kind of just mispriced. Like a first round running back we got him at what, pick 49 or pick 50 right there. Like that just seems wrong to me. I don't know. Like
there was
he's gonna hit year 1. Yeah. It's gonna be glorious. Come on, a round 1 running back. These guys, the bust rate is so low. The Chargers are going to run the ball. I think there's enough to go around, but it's going to be one of those things where at some point in the season, they're going to be handing the ball off to Najee, and they're all going to the coaches are going to look around to each other and just be like, "Yo, what are we doing? We got to feed Hampton. Keep feeding Hampton. Getting the ball."
Yeah, they're going to be like, "Oh fuck, that guy just ran for 2 yards on the play. He could have gotten 8." Wait. That guy on the bench, he kind of looks kind of yoked. Maybe we should just kind of throw him out and see what happens.
Yo, one of my favorite tweets was there was the picture of Omarion Hampton shaking someone's hand, and they just kept blowing it up bigger and bigger and bigger, where he's like 30 feet tall, shaking Jim Harbaugh's hand or whoever it was. Like, dude, he's absolutely huge, bro. Yeah,
Guy's a specimen. It's like, dude, like if you were to build a running like just straight off of vibes alone, like he gives you a Saquon vibes. It's like, God, that's a freak of a fucking sculpture.
absolutely.
You know, you just gotta kind of marvel at it. It's like, oh, okay, like no, don't take that the wrong way, but like, hey, like, yo, he's got the build to handle a workload.
Well, he ran what 4.39 or something, right? Like he was similar to Breece Hall in terms of his RAS score and everything, correct?
Yeah, for 9.9 RAS. I mean, say it's similar with Judkins as well. It's just like 220 plus pound bell cow running backs. Obviously Omarion Hampton goes earlier. I had him with a higher prospect rate. He goes earlier in the draft. Obviously, better offense. Reason why he goes before him. But I mean, to me, it's like people wonder where running back upside is every single year. It's staring them square in the face this year. Take the young rookie running backs with the lead upside.
Yeah, no, especially I go back, like I think we were going too far with the 0 RB stuff, like in terms of just how on underdog specifically of where wide receivers were going. But given the fact that like it was such a good run pure year for the older running backs, and then all the wide receivers got hurt, like I just feel like it's gonna swing back around.
We have a team to get your guy. If you want to get your guy here, I'm cool with it. Oh, right. We need a tight end.
We don't have to go tight end. We don't have to go tight end. I mean, these two could get it done, but is there anyone here we should take at tight end? And we got 10 seconds to make it. What do you guys think?
Ferguson, if we're going to take one, or Gadsden, if we want to be cute.
Just go Terrence Ferguson. I think that's a fun click, and it makes sense. We made a small bet on the Rams. I say we go for it.
We got the two old vets, and then we got the young rook. It balances out.
Kaz has to be in the stream, right? Every time we start talking about a player, it would go the pick right before us.
Well, if he is in the stream, he has to announce himself. Otherwise, the underdog SWAT team will come to his door and knock it down. So I hope you announce yourself before this draft is over.
I know
because he went Noah Gray there. Yeah, hilarious.
Noah Gray, and then go a little bit earlier on. There were a couple more like Dubs. Obviously, we had Packers correlation. Actually, we took Eckler
the
first.
Dak pick.
Dak, that was one. Okay, I remember that. Jaden Reed was another one. Yeah. Shout out Kaz if you are. Jalen Waddle's another one. People are allowed to do what they want.
I think he's on a similar wavelength, but that's funny. It lines up like that.
Hey, he's got a good team regardless, so you can't complain.
Where did Tua go? I don't understand. I know that Tua would have had to fall past ADP, but I've seen him Tua fall ridiculous amounts. Oh, B. Harris. Dr. B. Harris gets to go with his H-hand. That's what it was. No.
Shout out Doctor, by the way. Dr. Brian Harris, OG of the FSE crowd. Believe the last 2 years finalist in BBM. So incredible. He's been cooking, man. Shout out Brian, for real.
He's on
shout out, but the unstacked Tua does us dirty, man.
Yeah. That was tough. You didn't have to do us that.
Yeah, he had Johnny. Okay, I see a Johnny follower. There it is. I was looking for something else.
You rightfully did us dirty then.
That's fair.
That's how it goes. Usually, it's half the time you look across and you're like, okay, the guy took unstacked Dak just because it was ADP, but then most of the time there's some correlation there. But you've heard it all, you've seen it all. The snipes, the recoveries. That's just the way it goes in these fast drafts. And that's what makes it so fun. Makes you want to come back for more, right?
Amen, brother. I will always be down to tackle a draft. Let's just say that. And I can't wait till we're back in Ontario.
Dude, I'm gonna rip my clothes off and streak down the 401 by myself.
Dude, it's gonna be dangerous for my bank account. I'll just say that. Bro. My credit card statements are not gonna look good.
We're gonna have to start like an underdog fund. Just put away a BBM every paycheck or whatever, just for when it finally does come back.
For real.
So go ahead. Go ahead. Let's say, Danny, I'd love for you to give us a run through of this final team, this 2-6-7-3 build that we just compiled.
So, I mean, pretty simple with the quarterback core. You're balancing the Konami code upside, maybe offensive risk with Drake May. Obviously, Jordan Love has kind of the opposite appeal. You're attached to a good offense, potential very, very good passing projection. Obviously, not going to give you the rushing yards of May, but I also don't think he's a zero in that regard. You're not dealing with a Kirk Cousins. You're not dealing with an Aaron Rodgers. Like Love, when he is healthy, he can scoot a little bit. He's a little bit mobile. So, like that pairing a quarterback, that's about as cheap of a 2-quarterback build as I could probably get to. Once you get a little bit past that range, I typically would want to add a third, but these are 2 guys I'm ahead of market on anyway, so I'm perfectly comfortable ending the build at 2, like we did in this draft. Running back core, I mean, this is about as this is a picture perfect core, running back core in my opinion. You're balancing out the early season play of Chase Brown to be your anchor running back 1. Got the elite upside come the playoff weeks with those 2 rookies, and potentially even sooner than that. Like I said, Quinshon Judkins, as much as I love Dylan Sampson, I really like them as a prospect as well. Difference between top 40 capital versus third round, or not even third round capital, day 3 capital where Sampson went. I think at worst for Judkins' regard, this is probably a 65-35 situation. And I think Ford at this point, there's just 2 more talented running backs in that backfield. I don't quite see him getting nearly the usage he has these last couple of years. To me, it's really going to boil down to what that Sampson versus Judkins split will be. And to me, 220 plus pound size between the tackles, utility, top 40 capital scream to me, especially not to mention the data that I mentioned earlier, that Judkins will have an earlier workload sooner rather than later. We mentioned it with Najee Harris versus Omarion Hampton. Omarion Hampton, they look on the sideline, see this bodybuilder looking motherfucker ready to carry the rock. You got to give him the rock at that point. Am I right? Jordan Mason.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I may as well let you make the take on Jordan Mason, considering that. I mean, I agree with it too. I think there's the implied upside there in its own right. If all these, I mean, could you imagine a week 17 scenario where Aaron Jones is on the mend, Judkins and Omarion Hampton fully taken over? And I mean, at that point, we probably don't even need any other running back, right?
Exactly.
But yeah. Yeah, obviously Eckler and Hunter too. Hunter, we were talking about the upside, varied rushing attack for the Rams. Eckler kind of giving you that early season appeal.
No doubt.
This is
Yes, sir.
This is a fun team. I feel like we didn't get everything we wanted to follow. We didn't get the Dak. We didn't get some of the followers we wanted, but I feel like it's like those 2 QBs, you feel great. Got the 3 tight ends were covered off, and then super strong at running back and receiver. So yeah, boys, I think we can ship.
Let's ship it. Let's get it.
That's what we'll do. We'll ship this one. We'll be splitting the big grand prize, the $2 million, and we'll celebrate with a little brunch because Danny doesn't have to brunch enough. We'll have some mimosas to celebrate. We'll cheers with our little
little glasses for
our drinks. Yeah, exactly.
Need that in our lives. I mean, I'll tell you what, even like just at my own house, not mimosas per se. Like I said, again, I still will crush a mimosa, but just in general, like a drink that I will make myself if it's hot outside and I'm done my work and I want to go out in the backyard on the deck and just relax. I mean, it's just so easy to just make a quick gin and tonic. You don't really feel like you're cheating yourself because obviously, like it's as healthy of an alternative as you could go if you're gonna drink an alcoholic drink, but also you're getting a little bit of that bitterness fact. You apply a lime in there, a couple ice cubes, and really just helps you kind of, I would say, cool off. I'm a big guy. I sweat a lot. I kind of need that.
I'm a sweater as well. I feel you.
It gets hot down here in Houston. You got to have a cool drink in your hand. You got to be ready at all times. Gin and tonic. Yeah. Very, very classy drink. Very sophisticated. I like it. You got to, it slows you down a bit. The gin, the tonic, you can't just crush them, right? It's a nice steady flow. It's the gin and juice you got to watch out for because those will go down easy.
Well, that's the thing, right? The tonic, it has a little bit of the bitterness to keep you in check. It's like, okay, got to sip this. I'm not going to chug it. It's like, I could chug a gin and tonic, don't get me wrong, but kind of reminds you like, hey, relax, enjoy your time. You know what I mean? It was the best, especially when the Euro was going on. Obviously, the way Italy bowed out, probably not too enthusing for not only myself, but everybody in my area. But I mean, realistically, just being able to enjoy that, obviously soccer going on. I mean, you can't really complain midsummer months, a little bit of soccer going on and you have a drink in your hand.
Shout out to Woodbridge. I used to live in Woodbridge.
Oh yeah. You got all the Italians down there. I got the amount of cousins I have in Woodbridge. I mean, everyone in Southern Ontario that has a hint of Italian in them has cousins in Woodbridge.
Danny, we went a little bit long. Do you want to hop in? It doesn't have to be a BBM. It could be 20-second, whatever. It's completely up to you. We're chilling either way. So
Hey.
let us know how you're feeling.
Fuck it. I mean, the NBA game's done. We may as well.
Okay.
We may as
Candyman, what do you want to hit here?
I mean, your call. Whatever we want to do. Let me take a look.
So I think there's two fun options that would make a lot of sense if we're just trying to get a little different, get off of the beaten path of the best ball manias. Although, hey, I'm always up for that as well. The Schnauzer 2, I've got 11 bullets there left, 22nd. Not a bad one. Plenty of room for chat to jump in, get draft with us. The other one that I think I'm a little bit leaning more towards is actually the eliminator draft here. Which this eliminator draft, it's have you drafted one of these yet, Danny?
So I did one of the I did a couple of them last year. I haven't entered my slows in this year quite yet. But once I take my other Buffalo border, I'll probably get a little bit of exposure. And I mean, heck, I got exposure in the Albatross, for example. Ron actually did a bunch of entries, advanced 3. So shout out Ron. I wasn't quite as lucky because I mean, what golfer showed up this weekend realistically, other than JJ Spawn on a 65 hole in? Like
Incredible.
How do you hole out from? Sorry, I said hole in. How do you hole out from where he was? Like realistically, yeah, sure. Hovland gave him the line. Everybody's gonna say, well, Hovland putted right before him. Like he got exactly where he needed to put it. It's like, okay, now go out and do that at the U.S. Open on those greens with that wet condition.
Once in a lifetime.
I've never
Incredible.
And I had money both ways. I had money on McIntyre. I had money on Hovland. But at that point, when I see Spawn do that, it's like, hey, I'm cool losing $150 because that was the greatest putt I've seen in my life.
I love it. Hey, got some Danny football. We got some Danny 4 out here on the links. I love the golf talk. I'm big in. I did a bunch of I got destroyed in the semifinals at the U.S. Open at Oakmont for my Albatross teams, but I've got 2 teams left in the Scramble finals. So I'm trying to pull through, and always following the tour. So I love that kind of talk. You got my interest.
Hey, maybe drafting as much Homa and Pawson as I did probably didn't do me too well.
Ooh, see, we needed to connect before the season. I would have got you off that Homa pick.
Dude, I drafted them so early. It was when I was in I was in Hoboken and
he went expensive early.
He was expensive early. That's when I got all of them. And then literally a month later, I'm like,
undrafted.
Oh, what? Like, he was like a second or third round pick when I was drafting him. It wasn't good. I drafted so much Homa because I'm like, oh,
it's wild. Yeah, it's wild.
The mental game of golf, man. Your mental gets cooked, you're done. What's crazy too is the first tournament, he actually had like a good first couple of days. I remember he was like top 5, and then he just since then, I mean, fires his caddy, goes on a little mental tirade. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, firing
too many
caddy,
gin and tonics.
Kind of that's a red flag, you could say.
Yeah, when you have ownership of a guy that fires his caddy, you kind of pack it in at that point. It's like he's
things you don't want to see: firing the caddy, throwing the clubs, going to a back specialist mid-season. That doesn't sound good. Ugh. But also, not those are all Homa, but different guys, different years, different seasons. Those are things that can go wrong. It's surprisingly golf is there's a ton of injuries. It's not football, it's not hockey, but it's not maybe not even basketball. But there's still, there's a lot of wear and tear.
Like those overuse injuries, the same
swing
a million times, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's very mental. Yeah, you're right there. Very mental. So I hopped in a 20-second eliminator. This one's going to rip. It's going to go quick. But Danny, I'm excited to draft this one with you. Have you noticed yet? And I'll remind you, after week 1, which is a 6 out of 12 advance. So we're all friends in this group. There's a lot of bros in the chat who jumped in. We can all advance together. 6 out of 12 advance in week 1. Then it's 15 consecutive head-to-head matchups, 1 versus 1 for 15 straight weeks. And if you're lucky, you make it to week 17. There's 3 people left. So if you were to max this tournament, statistically, you'd be lucky to have 1 team remaining going into week 8. So It's everyone gets chopped. You're getting chopped in half every week. is the advance rate. But we can build one here. It's got to be a strong team early on, a slight fade to the rookies, a slight preference for 3 QB, 3 tight end, and running backs and elite QBs go a bit earlier. So it's a little slightly different ADP, slightly different format, but it's essentially just drafting the best players. And it's been pretty fun. I think it's going to be a fun sweat. And it's definitely a format I like to draft with co-hosts, because then we can get in on it together. Hey, is our eliminator team still alive in week 3? Actually didn't make it, that kind of thing. We'll see how far we can get this one to go.
I'll guarantee that's not the discussion that we have. I'm going to point it out. We were talking to team like, oh shit, three seat final. How do we fit all 3 of us into the seat?
Let's go.
I'm quite a big guy. We might have to extend the seat out a little bit,
We can cozy up.
Plenty of room. Plenty of room in the finals. We'll get in there.
Or across the couch. It'll be simple.
So I've got eliminator specific rankings uploaded. Shout out to Steve from the Fanspeak Network. He has some rankings out there, some premium rankings that I happen to have. I think he's actually maybe even updated them in the last week, so I don't have the most up to date, but based on ADP, based on the ranks, we're looking at like a Genty, a Henry, a Nakua here. Do you have a strong preference?
So if McCaffrey had fallen, he would have been the pick. I'm cool with either of those top 2 between Puka and Ash and Genty. Obviously, just gives
like Pookie.
I kind of lean Puka, right?
Yeah, I'm all for Puka. He's actually my highest rated player left, so I would have gone that direction as well. The play there is it opens you up. If Devon Achane falls, you don't have to feel sick to yourself that you started running back. At least you can say, hey, I got a wide receiver in round 1. Now I have the affordability to take that detour towards a nice little running back projection. And I mean, if Ash and Genty, obviously Ash and Genty goes the next pick. If Devon Achane falls to you at that 17th overall pick, I mean, especially in this format of, week by week advancing, you kind of want the guy that can access running back 1 overall in the week.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it.
I think there's a slight overthinking it about in a best ball mania, I wouldn't take Derrick Henry until pick 14 or 15 or 16, but here I'll take him pick 12. I think it's slightly overthinking it. I who knows? It's a new format and there's this whole head-to-head aspect of it, very random, but I still think it's take the best players and
easy game. This game is beatable.
It's very beatable.
The fact of the matter, I didn't even see what the board looked like. And as soon as I saw Jonathan Taylor go at 16, just based off my own drafts, I knew somebody good fell. I didn't even know who it was. You saw my eyes perk up though. BTJ, absolutely.
Yeah, easy shmoney.
Easy click. Now, if we're lucky, if we make it to week 8, if we're so lucky to get that far, we do have a slight buy issue, but that's just something to keep in the back of our mind as we continue to stack these early round picks. We don't want to have, maybe 4 out of 5 of our first picks on week 8, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, unless we really start rolling with more Lions and more Jags early, other week 8,
just take
buy teams.
Take the value.
Just take the value, because guess what? You get past that week 8, then you don't have to worry about your 2 best players having a single other buy the rest of the tournament.
That's true too. And the other part I'm thinking of is these head-to-heads are going to be so random. It's going to be, you're going to see people crashing out on Twitter.
Garbage teams.
They're going to post a team with 190 points and their opponent had 191 in week 2. And then you're going to have a team who posts 85 points and their opponent has 80 points. And they it's going to be all over the place. So anything can happen. By the way, Brock Bowers 22, quite a bit of ADP value there. You can complain. Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of interesting strats based off the texture of this board, like you said, in comparison to BBM, specifically in regards to a lot of people I've noticed have been double tapping here, obviously including ourselves. You haven't really seen somebody say, hey, I'm going to take, aside from the CD Lamb team, a onesie, or not a onesie, a 1 and a 1. I got Jahmyr Gibbs team too. Apologies. Shout out Michael, by the way.
But way less than I feel normal, right? It's a little weird.
Michael, big time follower. I've interacted with him a few times.
Nice.
Shout out Mike. Yes, sir.
So yeah, James was just saying he's done 46 eliminators so far. That's pretty up there. I forget who it was. I think it was Chess Liam said he had done maybe 60 already or something, or 65 or something. I don't know anyone that's up to 100 yet, but some people are getting these eliminators in, and it is one of the worst ROI tournaments you could possibly enter. It's more about kind of the glory, the going for fun, mixing in a different type of tournament to your portfolio maybe, but it's definitely not one to try to make your money back on. It's definitely going for the glory.
Yeah, amen. I mean, sometimes you got to mix that up. And that's why we play BBM. It's like realistically, if we're going for EV every contest, just sort by whatever has the lowest rate and play that. It's like, well, no, like sometimes you do want to be in a big field contest. You don't want the thrill like, oh my God, I'm in week 16. If Christian McCaffrey scores one more touchdown, I pass the pod leader and I go to the final. It's like that thrill. Like, I mean, it can't be beat for me. Like just. Yeah. I understand it's like, hey, like there are other tournaments I can join. It's like, but I mean, BBM will always have my heart.
100%. We got Lamar here.
Should we grab Lamar?
We got to make a quick decision.
I'm going with Lamar here. Like you said, if the onesies matter a ton more in this format, having the guy who literally just won, finished second in MVP, won the MVP the year before. I mean, you can't complain. I mean, Tyreek Hill had fallen. Oh my God, you couldn't have passed him there, but
we were close. And I think part of it in this one is right. You want to start off hot, and if having a QB who is just can break the slate any given week with a little bit more frequency, that can help. And then a lot of teams will be building out 3 QBs. We can kind of take advantage of not having to do that per se with Lamar Jackson. I feel like even in an eliminator, you could still build out a 2 QB build. Yeah, and I'll take a later QB too, even because Lamar Jackson should be hitting the lineup almost every week, kind of like you'd expect Josh Allen to.
Yeah,
Candyman, we got a big news here in the chat. We just hit 300 subs. So I just hit 700. I was off for a little bit. You got 300, so we're at 1K collectively for Ballsy. So that's a big
congratulations,
nice.
My dudes. Let's get
it. Big milestone. We'll have to celebrate after this draft for sure. Mike Evans up on this next one, or what do you guys feel? Xavier Worthy?
Is Travis Hunter here? Oh, gee, I'll get it.
See, Travis Hunter is still there. There is, so maybe he'll be there for our next pick. I don't know if we'll get that lucky, but people do slightly fade the rookies in this format. And we moved up. We accelerated to a 20-second pick clock. So these picks are coming snappy.
Yeah, we got to be locked in for these
locked
20 seconds with
locked in.
3 people. Yeah.
But I appreciate you, Bindles. Thanks for the shout. Thanks for the support. Thanks.
George Kittle goes to where he should go, by the way. For reference.
Pick 39.
Yeah, I mean, tell me why there's I talked about earlier, a 24 pick discrepancy in ADP between him and McBride when Kittle literally outscored him last year. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's just that he's old. It's literally just he's old. I'm worried, but it's like he was fine last year. He in. I don't know what it is in half PPR because my brain is constantly in Dynasty, Superflex, 0.5, 20 and Premium, but it was 20 points per game in that. So extrapolate out whatever this is. So
also, I hope that comment was right. And I don't even need 70s. Give me Hunter at 56, and I'm doing backflips rhetorically.
Absolutely.
I can't physically do a backflip, otherwise I would do it for the stream.
Can you back? You said you can, or can you
I wish I could backflip. Maybe 100 pounds ago, we could take a look at that.
Gosh, I don't think I've ever successfully backflipped, whether it was on feet or some kind of board sport. I don't think I've ever made one.
Nah, bro. I was a big boy. That was not me growing up. So.
I am a big boy.
Dude, it's crazy when you see those videos of like D linemen doing backflips and shit. You're just like,
Jalen Saunders, 300 pounds. It's like, well, fuck you. Okay,
yeah, that's
like, come on, are you serious? It's like on a good day I could touch my toes, but you're doing backflips.
Facts,
dude. I'm please. Michael's gonna do us in. I feel like I'm nervous. I gotta knock on wood. I'm praying. Come on.
Don't do it, Michael.
Don't do it, Mike.
Well,
if you're watching right now,
there's a few quality picks coming up. I mean, I see a lot of players I like in this range.
I love Pickens, but hey, fucking please. Come on.
I think we got to go Hunter, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Hunter's there. Smith is there too, but I think we'll take our guy here.
Let's go.
We'll have some faith.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck a running back. What's a running back?
Yeah, we are building out the rare 0 RB build in the eliminator. Not highly recommended by anyone, but we can make it work. I think there's some nice running backs that go in the range of our next 3 picks.
Oh, yeah.
This is like you're doing a super flex dynasty startup and you get James Conner. James Conner just went.
Yeah.
You get like Tony Pollard,
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift. You get some gross guys, but they get the job done. Yeah.
What are the running backs on the board? Just curious. So obviously we picked in like 9 picks or so. Okay, so we got like Henderson, we got Walker, we got a couple options there. So
I think we'll be lucky if they're there for our next pick. Obviously we can only take one with our next pick, but if we can get one of those guys, I'll feel pretty good.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
You want to scroll down the board for running back 2, see who else is up after that, just so we can kind of
Judkins,
think through it.
B. Rob Pacheco, I like. I mean, like the board's kind of still nice. I'm not too threatened right now. Is what
No. We still will get one guy. I think we can survive with.
Yeah. Yeah, we might have to back.
Some people are fearing
Walker,
the Kenneth
smash.
Walker ankle injury that's holding him up, but we got a long way to go until the season. I think we take advantage of this, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, ankle injury right now, I'm not concerned about. 6 days ago, whatever. Hey, all I view it as is 12 picks of ADP value based on the ADP.
Danny, how are you thinking about Walker overall this season? Kind of with the offensive coordinator switch, kind of bringing in Darnold, just a big change there, bringing in the coordinator over from New Orleans. There's been a lot of good coach speak on him. Obviously, we have that ankle injury, but how do you feel about Kenneth Walker this year in all formats?
So I am a little bit lower comparatively on Walker, just because I think there's a chance that the offense might bottom out. The offensive line is a little bit of a struggle. I do like and respect Kubiak, the offensive line, but I do also think Geno Smith patched a lot of the holes on that Seahawks offense that maybe a lot of people didn't really realize. I would say, like, I think Geno Smith's going to show a lot of people, hey, I'm a top 15-ish level quarterback, whereas maybe the last couple of years the box score didn't do him justice. I've heard a couple people say, oh, well, Darnold's an upgrade. It's like, hey, put Geno Smith on that Vikings team. I'm curious what his numbers would look like.
Real nice.
Yeah, sure. Like, I'll give Darnold flowers. Hey, top 10 MVP voting season. Like, you did exactly what you could have possibly taken the opportunity and ran with to do. But at the same time, realistically, I do think the Seattle Seahawks situation is objectively worse. Week 8 is a tough one. Week 8 is tough. With that being said, though, in best ball in general, you get 12 picks of ADP value. I think you just take it. Realistically, I would have him ranked around here, so it's not like I'm reaching on him by my own ranking. So if I'm getting 12 picks, I'm not going to get any Walker if I don't take him if he falls 12 picks.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on the offensive concerns, and yeah, he's talented, so I think he can shine through. But it's end of season, right? If their season kind of tanks, they're having some issues. Could be a little scary, but
also I do find it hilarious how we're like, as long as we don't have the same bye week 4 of our first 5 picks, and then it did exactly that.
You know what? Hey. I can play both sides of the aisle. We just got to get to week 8. And then maybe our opponent will also have this bye week issue. Maybe their quarterback tears the ACL in week 7. They make it through, but then we get the cake matchup in week 8. Anything can happen in these head-to-heads.
Dude, you'll be hard-pressed to find a scarier 4-stack at wide receiver come week 17. What?
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, yeah. That's looking nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm you know where I'm looking.
No, we want Sam Laporta.
Yeah, Sam Laporta. B-Rob. Okay, thank God.
Quinshawn, let's do it.
I mean, it's got to be Quinshawn, right? And people are just afraid because he's a rookie that he might start slow, might be split in the backfield, but we've got faith.
I'm curious. Who does he play week 8 now? Now I'm genuinely intrigued. Like maybe we
Browns
should
play week 8.
Maybe we should target some players who have absolute cake matchups. I mean, he plays Baltimore. That wouldn't really qualify, but yeah. I mean, what would
you know what the real savvy eliminator drafters do that I haven't really come around to yet, but I'm still getting there, is just knowing even the first week 1, 2, 3 matchups just to get like who has the strong start. Like you've seen some of the graphs. Oh, the 49ers have the easiest schedule overall, but there's some splits out there, some nice research people have done to say like, which teams have the most implied points through the first 4 or 5 weeks, all these kind of things you can do with Vegas odds or just matchups head to head. So some people are digging into the eliminator in that kind of fashion. I'm still more of a player take and then just drafting sound teams wavelength because I'm not 100 drafts deep. But maybe if I get to that point, I start to consider some of these really nuanced things, or maybe I just never get there and I'm just kind of, getting cut in week 3 consistently, but we'll find out.
That's a week 5 buy for Golden. So we could do that, or we could take the ADP value on Laporta. It's a week 8 buy though, so I don't think we actually can, unfortunately.
Any other running backs here that are of any interest
running
whatsoever?
Backs? I mean, I'm a Tyrone Tracy guy, but do we reach 7 picks of ADP? I think I'd be.
Let's go Golden. Let's go Golden.
Yeah, let's go Golden.
I got it. Oh,
yeah,
I did.
Yep. We could be done at wide receiver for a while too, which of what that affords us.
Yeah, I think we're definitely good at wide receiver for a while. The reason we're seeing Golden going a little bit later, and he probably would have continued to fall, but I still like him. Is he's the rookie, but also people are afraid to take week 5 buys. So you see teams like the Steelers, the Falcons, the Bears, the Packers with the week 5 buys. They tend to fall a little bit more than usual just because of that fact.
By the way, I'm an idiot. When I said Phil, or what was the matchup? I said tough matchup for Judkins. I was looking at 2024 schedule. So now I got that fixed up right now. Week 8. The Browns go up against. Am I missing them? Browns go up against the Patriots. So
that's not bad.
Could be pretty interesting there. And then we just took Golden. The Packers go up against the Steelers, which I mean, it's a revenge game for Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he goes blicky and the Packers create a shootout environment. Who knows? Or TJ Watt just goes off and it's a 17-16 drooler in Pittsburgh. I mean, it could go either direction. Depends how arrogant Aaron Rodgers wants to be. I mean, we just got to convince him to try to stick it to his old team. So we see some points.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that narrative 100%. Like he's just like, this is my best game of the year against the Packers.
That would be so A-Rod to just say, nah, fuck y'all, I'm gonna go off.
DK Metcalf week 5 stack is what you need for the eliminator. With
you need that week 5 upside. What running backs are available? We probably will need to grab one here.
ETN is there, which is kind of an interesting play. He's also a week 8 buy, but we've got a big bet on the Jags already. I say we just keep it rolling.
Fuck it. With that, we may as well make it a meme at this point. Take Tajay Spears and we can't even take Zach Charbonnet. Look at that. I think you have to go ETN though. Yeah, I agree. It is funny though.
I think it makes sense though, honestly. Just another player who obviously we all like Tuden. I think here we all like Tuden, unless I'm speaking out of turn for you, Danny. I know Bindles is big in on him, but ETN is getting some interesting kind of, wishy-washy kind of talk that he still has a role.
Maybe it's week 8 buy for now. Who knows?
Maybe they trade him, man. That's a great point.
Yeah, maybe instead of a week 8 buy, he plays the Broncos in week 8 at 425 on the road.
Guys, I think I found the cheat code for X engagement. You just have to tweet about Jaden Reed, and people will just we just hit 61K views, 500 likes on the tweet. So
Fields versus Rodgers double revenge game is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Also, if Stevenson had fallen, he would have been a pretty nice fit for this team too.
Yeah, kind of in a similar wavelength for ETN. Maybe even
the run back to Judkins.
Yeah.
Week 8.
Just going off, trading blows.
Week 8 run back is what you need.
You want to stack up Andrews here with?
I kind of do, just because we might get a nice little team correlation with Lamar. Does that make sense for you guys?
100%.
And if we're gonna overcome the week 8 buys, we will do it when the Ravens play the Bears at home and are implied for 29 points, and Andrews catches 2 touchdowns. That's how we get over the week 8 situation.
Absolutely.
Hey, there's still room to get Burden later too. He's definitely going to be falling.
Talk about a run back, baby. I'm keen.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it.
Shout out to Neil Orfield in the chat, the oldest man to ever stream all 150
What up, Neil?
BBM drafts.
Yo, it's good, Neil.
What up, Disbanded? How we doing? Even heard LaQuint is making the team, and they're all getting reps. Yeah, it's a 4-headed monster, probably at least 2-3-headed monster. But people have been saying just take a Jags running back in every draft. So we took that literally, and also people have been saying only draft teams with a week 8 bye. There's just good luck around it.
If we could somehow escape our next 2 picks with Njoku and Burden, I would be doing backflips.
Ooh, I like it.
That would be so fun.
Zoom up.
That would be fun. Shout out to Neil too. He will be our guest next week for Ballsy over on my channel. You know, going back to the OG days last March and April, doing some home and away streams with him over on his channel. So it'll be fun to catch up with Neil. You know, just absolutely gem of a guy. So be sure to tune in for that.
Shout out, Neil.
Shout out. The string of incredible guests will continue. Yeah, keeping the streak alive. This is a 20-second eliminator that we're into. We're not bye-week bros by any imagination. We've drafted every week 8 bye team. The Jaguars, the Rams. We started with Puka. We grabbed Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter and Travis Etienne. Took Lamar Jackson and just stacked up Andrews, Mike Evans in there, Ken Walker, another week 8 bye, Quinshawn, Golden. Coming up to David Njoku.
Michael knows.
Yup.
I mean, we could go with the Burden Loveland as well. That could be an option. And also
we could get Burden.
John just said, no, you're not going Trevor Lawrence. Fuck,
that was crazy. Why would he stack Trevor Lawrence? Or why would he take Trevor Lawrence unsacked? Loveland or Burden? What's our feel? Probably based on ADP, probably Burden, right?
Yeah, because Loveland could fall.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, if we don't get Loveland, I like Warren and Kraft as projections. Whereas the wide receivers, if we don't get Burden or like. I mean, I feel so much better about Burden than Hollywood. I'll keep it like straight up.
Worst case, Ontario.
Amen.
You know what's crazy? Loveland's really been falling, and it's as if people didn't know he had the shoulder injury. So I think it's a little bit absurd how far he's fallen.
The one that literally caused him to miss the rest of the season for Michigan, people are just like, oh, shoot, now I'm going to actually like look at that. For reference, I mean, I think he's a value even at his previous ADP because he's that caliber of player. But
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like if you're going to get even more value, I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. Also, it just goes back to the fact that we need Bears versus Ravens to go ballistic, and we are just absolutely monopolizing that game. Hey, 2 tight ends that week. Let's start both. Hey, Mark Andrews and Colson Loveland. We need both of you to hit the lineup. Get crazy. Get ballsy.
Another Canadian appears in the wild. Shout out to Cody off the Schneid. How you doing, brother? What's going on?
The maple syrup is flowing. We're going to be taking shots.
I can smell something. Is that Tim Hortons? Is someone brewing some Timmy's?
I'll tell you a good cup of Tim Hortons when I was driving over to Bushy's place, because for reference, it's about an hour 20 drive for where the studio is set up at his place. He lives, Elmira, Bindles. I don't know if Candyman.
No, you know what? I know you guys were talking about he lived in a small town, but I wasn't sure. I've been to I'm gonna have to pull it up on a map now where I've been. I haven't really been too far out like that direction. I've been to Hamilton. My girlfriend's best friend lived in Hamilton, but I haven't really been out that direction, like up, like kind of like that way towards London, like that drive that way.
Yeah. Also, damn, Rachaad White is a fantastic pick. I was hoping he fell back. Rachaad White is like a perfect style fit for what we got going.
Kind of would be.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the hammer itself, I mean, it's a tale of 2 cities. It depends where you are, realistically. Wherever you are in Hamilton, you're going to get a different experience. And I think that's the beauty of the city.
I mean, yeah, no, actually, you know what's funny? I just started a new job recently, and I met a guy on the first day, and he is from Hamilton, and he was like, yeah, dude, I go biking on the trails all the time. Like, it's beautiful out
Oh, yeah.
there. But yeah, it's definitely got its pros and cons, just like any
Oh,
city,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah, you go in certain areas and it's like, oh well, like this could have been kept together a little cleaner. But hey, yeah, you go to other areas like, wow, it's like beautiful wildlife. You know what I mean?
yeah. Wait, what city is he in?
Which one?
Bushy?
Oh, Elmira.
Oh,
It's like past Guelph, between Guelph and London is the best way to describe it.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he is like Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah,
It's like that's a wow. Okay, I did not know that's where
he lives in the boonies now. He lives in the absolute like country roads.
Yeah, my girlfriend went to school in Kitchener, so I haven't really been out in that area. So I'll have to
Which
go check
school?
it out. Yeah.
Which school did she go to?
She went to Waterloo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so Waterloo, probably engineering, something like that.
I don't know what her undergrad was, something like health sciences, and then she went
Yeah.
to Windsor for law school. So that's where we met. I was on the Detroit side of the border. She was literally my office building was literally right where the border crossing was. Like the
Algier,
tunnel.
Eckler, or Stafford at this point?
Give us Eckler, maybe.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, let's go Eckler.
Yeah, he was just actually quite efficient last year. I don't think people realize, like, he was at 5.5 yards per pop, but really efficient as a receiver. Obviously, people
and concussions, and then was there some other injury too, or was it just concussions?
Might have been something lower body, but
something. Yeah,
I had him in my home league, in my redraft league that we're really competitive with. I was rolling with Eckler and Chuba and Charbonnet, and then I actually had Breece Hall, but he was up and down, you know.
I had him in the flock league. I know exactly what you mean when you say up and down.
With Breece Hall,
I took Breece Hall before Jamar
Chase.
Ooh.
Yeah, overpay for sure for me. Yeah, just concussions last year for Eckler, but it felt like it was just kind of inopportune.
Also, Washington week 5, or not week 5, week 8. Okay, let me take a look.
You're still looking at the week 8. I love it.
Well, we have to.
I have to. Who they play week 8? Now I'm curious. Washington.
Danny, when this team loses week 7, I'm just gonna be like, man, all of that heavy lifting we did, thinking about the week 8s. It's all right.
Do we just go week 8 by Stafford here and just commit to the bit?
Well, that's kind of a thing. I don't know if you guys like Dowdle or Braylon at all. I do kind of like. I think Dowdle's fine.
Let's go Dowdle.
Yeah, let's go Dowdle.
I like Dowdle because I mean, let me just check week 8. I'm kidding. I'm not, but so Commanders play the Chiefs, by the way. Also,
ooh, that'll be a high total game. Yeah, that's a nice
Panthers
one.
Bills.
Okay, there you go.
Could be. I just think we kind of just keep jamming in these contingent running back upside guys who have done it before, been in RB1 before, and now are kind of the RB2. Maybe they, who knows what happens in 2025. So Eckler fits that bill, Dowdle, and ETN kind of fits that bill as well. I mean, who knows? But if he's even the RB1 on his own team anymore, I think
I actually really like how we structured this.
It's not bad. It's not bad. There's a little bit of if we get to we get to week 8, we'll see.
Yeah,
QB2. I think we're good. We'll just take. It honestly doesn't even matter. We just got to take someone who's starting in week 7. And
Darnold.
it's getting close to the end of the rope, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck.
Hear me out. Tyler Shuck against the Bucks at home might be a shootout.
And we have Mike Evans, but do you think Shuck starts in week 7, or is he going to be fighting off the Rattler?
I actually have no clue. I've made that joke with Corey a couple of times. I'm like, hey, I wouldn't write off Rattler. And he's like, bro, look at the team investment. I'm like, yeah, but like Rattler was just like objectively a better prospect in my opinion. Like
at one point in Debbie leagues, Rattler was the 101.
Yeah, at one point he was probably going. I mean, he was literally the quarterback right before Caleb, and Caleb basically pushed him to the sideline because he got benched in the game and never relinquished that job in Oklahoma.
Dude, Caleb, I think he had like a long touchdown run, and then it was just
it was over after that.
Back. Yeah, it was like a 75-yard touchdown run, and it's just like, okay, Rattler, sit your ass down.
Yeah, no, you're gonna. Oh shit, darn, it would have been nice. I mean, Colts? Do the Colts play the Titans? Cam Ward's already gone. Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so for QB wise, it would be Shuck, or we'd have to take
Daniel
something
Jones
like
is
Russell
gone
Wilson or
too. Oh
Yep.
shit. Well, Average
Yeah.
is so cheap now. Oh my god.
A-Rich is pretty cheap. He did. People are hating.
So like, is this a Flacco team? Like, why am I?
It doesn't
asking
have
about
to be,
that?
but I think we can keep pushing it since there's no
Yeah.
really buy overlaps with Lamar. I think we can just build something really ugly and then hope Lamar is just what we need every week, and then have some fillers.
Yeah, at this point, I might as well search up week 7 schedule for quarterbacks, because I will only need a quarterback for basically 1 week.
We could look to running back here. Let me pull up what we got. It'd be like a Shipley or a Chubb or a Sanders.
Giddens or Hunter. Unlucky. I will take a Pierce, but
Yeah.
I was saying Hunter because we got the Rams Jags week 7 when Lamar's on bye.
Miles
You're
Sanders.
saying Hunter?
Yeah, week 7 they got the Jaguars 9:30.
You're just trying to tack on more week 8 buys, aren't you?
I forgot about that. Dude, it's so easy, bro. You just see why all the best players just like
There's 6 teams on. There's 6 good teams on bye that week. It's just the overlap's insane.
Yeah, no, you ain't wrong.
But you know, it's nothing compared to Buy-Mageddon last season. It was like week 14 was terrible.
14
There's a
was
bunch
fun,
of them.
yeah.
That was just a ton of good, talented teams with overlapping buys.
So we are about to be back on the board again. We probably don't need the quarterback yet because there's no quarterback worth taking yet.
Or maybe we just pull rip it and go with Shuck just to get a guy who we feel good about. I don't know. Or let's take a quick look at the board. Like,
If we're
does Pat Bryant get us there? You know,
Pat Bryant's actually interesting.
Yeah, he's a good click. Yeah, let's do
I
that.
kind of like the Pat Bryant one, and we're
Pat
probably
Bryant.
done at receiver at that with 8.
Because we know we're closing quarterback off at 2. So realistically, we have 2 more picks, probably going to be a running back and a quarterback here.
I think so. And also the quarterbacks are so kind of overdrafted already that we're probably the only team without 2. I think we are the only team without 2. Most teams have 3 already. So we're not really competing against many people for this last QB. They're going to keep pushing it as well. I feel, but then now someone in the chat's going to snipe us just to spite us. But
I mean, maybe if Chuck's there in the 17th, it's like, okay, technically we could wait the full 18th and play the complete value game. But I mean, there's somebody that will literally there are people that will literally ruin their own draft if it means that you don't get a falling ADP value. I've seen it plenty of times in the past. Oh, sure, you're taking Tua Tagovailoa with no fucking Miami Dolphins on your team and already owning 2 or 3 quarterbacks because I pick right after you. Like, I noticed that. I've seen that before.
Yeah,
I have Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, but you could have grasped the fact that I was getting a falling ADP value.
and I don't even think that stacking QBs is 100% necessary for your for in this format. If you have an elite QB and you're just looking for like a backup guy to fill in for a week or 2, because I mean, we took Lamar Jackson saying we're going to roll with his scores essentially every single week. And if he has, for some reason, like a 4-point outing, well, maybe Lamar Jackson wasn't like the quarterback you needed to win this format. But if he can just, I mean, also the quarterback position is like, just getting a start, like getting a Tyler Shuck or even a start from Russell Wilson, who could, in that scenario, put out like 14 points. That can help you stay afloat. So you don't really have to have too much,
Yeah, no, I think that makes a ton of sense. I'm cool with either of those top 2 quarterbacks. I mean, aside from that, I think as long as we get over that week 8 spot, the other factor too, like you said, in terms of Lamar, he can kind of carry over the top. A little bit of a difference when you have a large field final, because obviously there's going to be a lot of overlap with Lamar. If it's a 3-person final, like, okay, cool. They can both have Lamar. Maybe you lose a little bit of an edge there, but what's the difference between competing with a 50% Lamar ownership field in the BBM final? Also, my camera just died.
perfect timing.
It's the ghost of Danny.
You get the El Gato. Let me see if I could turn the webcam on.
Do you want to go Shuck or Russ?
I think we
here?
do. Well, okay, I'll toss. Is it Shuck or Russell Wilson a better play for Week 7 to be starting?
I would say Shucks specifically because they play the Dolphins that week. That secondary's fried chicken. Where's the Giants here? I mean, we probably ran out of time anyways. They play the Broncos, so yeah.
No, I like the Broncos. That's a tough
okay, that's not a good match.
Got it, Darren. Shout out, Hook'em Horns, baby. And then so we get Tyler Shuck. Obviously, we got to go running back here. I was taking a quick look at our wide receivers. We've got 8 of them, and we'll be able to survive any combination of those bye weeks. The 2 tight ends definitely feel strong enough to stand alone. So, yes, it's not ideal to start 1 tight end in Week 5 and 1 in Week 7, but I feel like we've got some studs. So it really looks like we probably want to take another running back just to get some depth there.
Yeah. Anyone here that's really tickling your fancy here?
Keaton Mitchell's kind of interesting. Danny, how are you feeling about these last couple picks?
I'm cool with any of these guys. We can go with a Keaton. We could go with Sean Tucker would make sense too. Maybe you're playing upside. Honestly, whatever. I mean, you want to go with your boy Emmanuel Wilson, we could do that too.
Ooh, I kind of like that shout.
We got 9 seconds.
I got him going here. By the way, I think my webcam might be on
Mitchell
now.
or Emmanuel Wilson. Someone call it.
Emmanuel.
Your call. Yeah, bet.
Oh,
that is not even
coming in clutch. We did have a Packer on this one too. I mean, we had Golden again, and then look at that, he's back.
I haven't used this webcam in so long; it wasn't even centered. look at the underdog side. Oh, that's comedy. Because the way I have my monitors orchestrated right now is my right one's closer to me. Because when I'm like playing COD, for example, I'll have this monitor for like any music and stuff, and then this monitor for when I'm playing on. So the way I orchestrated it, I have a weird room set up right now. Sorry, I'm still.
This is how the sausage is made in the Danny's household.
God,
Danny's not a fan of outlets. He's all in on the batteries. He's mobile at any given moment. He can just pick his stuff up and move it along. Doesn't believe in being hardwired in. He's ready, but also sometimes the batteries die.
Dude, the webcam view looks so bad right now. I'm actually because it's not even the battery dying; it's my camera overheating because I forgot to put the dummy batteries in.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, so I think it just overheats, which makes sense. I mean, 2.5 hours, like it's going to overheat a little bit, but I am curious if I plug it back in now to get that ungodly, awful fucking webcam off. Dude, that shit was not even lined up. Okay. Maybe here?
El Gato.
The El Gato. Let's see, that might work. No, died right away. Okay. Guess we will end off with the webcam. You're kind of getting a little bit more access to me than maybe you would want.
Some behind the scenes.
Some behind the scenes. Cool.
This is how it's made. This happens literally every episode, not only of Ballsy, but just every live stream. It's building the plane as you're flying. We're drafting. We're interacting with the chat. We're talking ball. We're drafting every player. As long as they have a week 8 bye, they're on this team, and that's the criteria to win. This is fun. It goes by super quick. The 20-second rip after starting with 30-second. I've always felt it's easier to adjust the other direction. It's like if you start with some 20 seconds and then you move it to a 30, you're like, oh, this is got plenty of time to make these picks. This is relaxing. It made it even worse that we had technically 60 seconds per pick previously, where we were on the turn at the one spot. So we had like 60 seconds to ourselves. This time it was just like 20 seconds, make a pick, click, 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 rapid fire. But
you gotta do the you don't want to reverse pyramid your drafts, because then if you're doing the 30 seconds first and then you go to 20, it feels hard, but you definitely want to go the other way around.
Yeah. No, if you start at 20, it's going to feel like, wow, I got a full extra 10 seconds to think about this. I could read a book in this extra amount of time.
Exactly.
No doubt.
Sir.
We did it. We got this 20-second elim in kind of a really interesting team. I mean, the firepower from the wide receiver spot. And it's all about winning, in some aspects. In a week to week, I don't think we're going to face many teams that have the wide receiver firepower that we do. So that's very from like a head to head, week after week matchup kind of aspect. This team has got a lot going for it, from the receivers, the tight ends, Andrews, Loveland, that's plenty good. The running back though,
the week 8 game stack.
The week 8 game stack, yes. We'll just have to hope our opponent in week 8, and we'll have to hope we get there, and then our opponent also has some issues. I think the randomness, it'll all work itself out. But I don't even dislike our running back room. It's not even that bad for being kind of a late RB build in this eliminator, which is like an RB heavy format. I think we zig where others are zagging kind of thing. We took the wide receiver values, and then we tried to make up ground at running back. And you take Lamar Jackson. I mean, he could just put up however many points in a week, and then that covers, the deficit we have at our RB2 or flex potentially. Which, I mean, honestly, I think we're going to be flexing a wide receiver a lot of the time anyway. So I think we're covered. But Lamar Jackson can compensate. Maybe we could have gone with Matt Stafford. A little bit of hindsight. It's like maybe we just grabbed Stafford there for the Puka connection and been done. But we had to get Rico Dowdle. He just was the guy we really
firepower.
Yeah. Maybe Rico Dowdle, can carve out an early role, or he just, who knows what happened with Hubbard. But that offensive line is, you would think you want a piece of that rushing attack, so it didn't hurt.
Yeah. And on top of that, I mean, realistically, like you said, 3-person final. So having high exposure.
I love how you're thinking about the final.
Because I mean, we're going to be there. It's like,
okay, you're right. We're there.
Like, we're already there. So it's like, okay, like maybe one of the other two teams, maybe both the other two teams do have Lamar, but maybe they have Josh Allen. Maybe they have Jaden Daniels. It's like, realistically, there's other elite quarterbacks, but we just got to hope ours best on that day.
Yep.
All the other MVP, the other two teams in our Week 17 final that we're going to face, they're going to have a very similar team to us. Let's just imagine they've got Puka, but they thought, you know what? Okay, yeah, I will take Brian Thomas, but no way will I take Travis Hunter. I can't have all these Week 8 buys, and no way will I take Kenneth Walker. So that's where we get different. That's how we win the prize, which I think it's pretty nice. It's $200,000 up top, so not a bad.
You'll never complain.
Not a bad 3-way split.
Never complain. I mean, even a cheeky little 76 like that. It's almost so exact that it makes it like almost perfect. It's like, it's not rounded. It's straight raw.
Random
76. It's like, could be 75, but you're getting a cheeky extra grand there. Like, congratulations. Like, you know what I mean? It's blessed.
Exactly.
Yeah. No doubt. Well, it was a fun draft. We had some bros drafting in from the chat with us, and always a good time. Let's see. Carded at the booth. That's wild. Interesting.
It's disbanded and Neil going back and forth about how they're old.
Yeah, I know. I caught some of that, but the side conversations going on in the chat. Love to see it. Appreciate y'all all being here. Danny, tell us what you got cooking up this week. What's going on and at the Fantasy Stock Exchange, and what should we be looking forward to coming out soon?
So recently on the channel, we dropped the players we can't stop drafting. We're planning to do the players we are avoiding tomorrow. Thursday, I believe, is when Spicy said he's free to potentially do an underdog draft. Going to be ripping there again in terms of just a hard set schedule. Aside from that, kind of just go with the flow. What are we kind of feeling today? Obviously, we have a general schedule come August, but this time of the year is just kind of seeing, hey, what are you interested in making? Like, what are you feeling about today? That's kind of the beauty of it. Top of that, recently finally made a TikTok. I was making YouTube shorts in the season, kind of got the grasp of the short form content. Never actually made my own TikTok. Obviously, Bush has a Fantasy Stock Exchange account that he's been working on for the last few years. I believe he's gotten that to like almost like 50K followers. So shout out there, grinding on TikTok there. I literally just made a fresh account a week ago. Posted my third TikTok today. It's got like 25 followers, but the first couple of videos, like I want to say 3,200 views on the first two, and then the one that I posted today has a few hundred. So
Nice.
yeah, gonna kind of keep seeing what works on TikTok. Obviously, like I said, like just straight pick'em content is kind of what I was making with the shorts. Now I'm kind of doing more fantasy content on that TikTok, but it's been fun, man. Grabbing a couple, TikTok edits on YouTube, like talking about George Kittle. There's a part in the TikTok today where when I mentioned, Debo's gone, it's like Kittle like waving goodbye in the TikTok edit.
That's pretty sick.
I like added that like specifically because when I was whenever I'm editing a video and I find something that I can like laugh about to myself that like I hope somebody maybe like catches like the Easter egg of it, like that would be one of it. If somebody noticed like Kittle's literally like laughing when I mentioned Debo's gone. But yeah,
that's nice. Yeah, no, I haven't done a ton of short form content, so that's it's definitely a whole nother ball game over there. But yeah, that'll be fun to kind of get creative and start it from the ground up on that.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. You guys have been putting out a lot of good content, a lot of good dynasty content, a lot of good best ball content. That's what we're all about here on the Ballsy show, a dynasty and best ball show. And yeah, definitely everyone make sure you're following Danny. Make sure you're subscribed to the Fantasy Stock Exchange. Go check out their content. They're constantly pumping out good stuff. Like Danny was saying, lots to look forward to there. And very fun time getting ballsy on a Monday night with you, my man. We got some nice drafts in. We'll put you down. We'll write your name in there. We'll let you know on this eliminator. We'll keep you updated how that goes throughout the season. And then, of course, the Best Ball Mania entry for the grand $2 million prize. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Sure.
Kind of a fun team from that one spot. That Jamar Chase team, it can be tough. It can be a tough, on the corner to make those picks. But I think we got a lot of those players that we liked that we talked about beforehand. Bindles, you're on the Fan Speaks Best Ball Jeopardy show this Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, is it?
Yeah, I think it's 8 or 8:30. I'm not sure.
8 or 8:30 Central Time, actually, right? So 9:30 Eastern. So definitely be on the lookout for that one. I dropped the link a while back, but check it out, Fanspeak Network. And Bindles, what else you got cooking up lately?
Yeah, like I said, started a new job, so trying to find time to. I'm going to try to start making some shorter dynasty videos. Haven't really done any videos yet, just been exclusively live streams. So once I can carve out some time, going to be dropping those. Been kind of doing some stuff in the background, and then next week
the Discord.
Oh yeah, make sure Discord link. It's in my Twitter bio. I think it might be down below as well.
I think I put it below.
And then, make sure to go sub to my channel. We just hit 700 subs, and we will be here every Monday with Candyman alternating on our channels. Next week is the one, the only, the biggest JJ McCarthy stan on the planet, Neil Orfield of the Flannelverse. So make sure to tune in for that. It's going to get real fun, and we're going to catch up with Neil. So
looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. That's me. Yeah, it's going to more drafts coming all summer long. Hot best ball summer. We're not even at the peak yet. We're just getting started. We've been drafting for a while, but we're still just getting started. We're going to be keeping it real, drafting these teams here. I'm doing live drafts pretty much every day on the channel as well. Tomorrow, I'll probably do a short stream, and I'm going to be on with JT Best Ball, I think at 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern. So a very late stream. I think we're going to do some eliminators. I'll make sure we draft a bunch of week 8 bye teams there as well. Keep it going. Keep the dream alive. And yeah, man, that's what we got going on. And of course, Danny, glad you could be with us, draft with us. Always a good time. Definitely some ballsy takes and a lot of fun, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah, man. Nice to meet you on stream, brother. And love all your guys' content, and you guys are OGs in the space. So keep up the good work.
By the way, it feels crazy to say that. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I guess it's been 5 years. Like I still obviously feel very young. I'm 25, but it's like no, like I was legit 20 when we started the channel. Like even though I don't feel old in the context of working in fantasy, it's like it has been like a half decade. Like, it's not like I'm a young buck in the fantasy streets anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just the evolution on Twitter, the evolution of the space as a whole, like kind of just seeing how it's materialized since 2020 is pretty crazy.
Did you guys know each other from university, or how did you guys know each other? I don't know the backstory actually.
So it's actually hilarious. Shout out Nick from BDGE, but we were actually in his Slack channel and we were doing a mock, like a dynasty mock draft or whatever on Sleeper. And it was about to be my pick. And as a joke, you know, I'm at the Guelph gym. I'm pumping some iron. I was doing some deadlifts at the time. As a joke, I'm like, hey, boys, just give me a second ripping this set. And it had the Guelph logo on it. And he recognized the logo because he was going to Conestoga at the time, which is about 30 minutes for literally right close to Guelph. Wow. After that, we basically ended up collaborating. We ended up writing articles for a website together at that time. And then about March 2020 is when we ended up linking up, made the first video on the channel. Initially, it was 4 of us. The first public video on the channel is just between me and Bush, but there was some unlisted content from March 2020, like 2020 NFL mock draft that I did with our buddy Lucas, for example, who was with us at the beginning. But if you actually check out the channel, the first public video would be the first I believe it should be the first Hot Commodities video, which was the first video we actually the series we started us to. Sorry, a lot of word jumbo there or mumble.
Wow, no, that's incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. The world came to a stop, and that's right. You guys capitalized in a time, and look where you guys are now. That's a really cool story. Wow,
appreciate you, brother. I mean, hey, fuck. It's about loving the game. It's about having the passion for it. And it's about, I mean, at the end of the day, trying to provide as much value as you can. Like realistically, I mean, we weren't monetized on YouTube for the first 6 or so months when we started the channel. And it's like, we were doing it for the love of the game at that point. We were waking up every day, you know, recording content, making show sheets, you know, collabing, chopping ball, 30 minutes, hour, whatever it takes, right? And that was even before we made a cent on YouTube. So it just goes to show you, man, you get the right mindset, you prioritize the right things, obviously providing value to the people that are consuming the content. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're approaching things the right way, you just keep your head on your shoulders and keep grinding, you know?
Hell yeah. That's it's a right. Anything in life, it's a good carryover, right? Just like do the work and the results will follow. So very, very inspiring stuff there.
Appreciate that, brother.
No doubt. Always good to get more of the lore, the backstory, to hear some of that fun stuff, you know. And again, appreciate you being on here. And we'll look forward. We'll do some more drafts in the future for sure. I know there's always some dynasty trades that your guys are cooking up, and so plenty more to talk about to draft. The summer is moving along, but we still got a long way to go to the NFL season. So Danny, for myself, for Bindles, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on another draft real soon. Everyone in the chat, thanks for being here. Catch you on another one soon. Let's kick it to the outro.